not nearly as much of a blowout as that might indicate, but I think it was first 4 games. It's always looking forward, but when you look forward to tonight, you're looking forward to at its disposal getting back on the ice tonight.
Well, Sasha lineup tonight for the first time this season, the captain with the knee injury. We'll get into that a little more as we get set towards game time here. We'll talk about the Bears in a minute too. They committed 2-2 after getting swept last weekend by the defending champs, the Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth, but good home opener for the Huskies. We'll talk about the Bears a little bit when we come back as our pregame coverage continues from the XL Center after this on the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Listen up, Huskies fans. This year, MGM Springfield
so it's currently 48, correct?
Destination for all your post-game celebrations. It's the latest destination from MGM Resorts International, the world's leading hospitality and entertainment company. At MGM Resorts' 27 global destinations, you'll find experiences that exist nowhere else. Celebrity chef dining, electrifying nightlife, world-class accommodations, and so much more. Get ready to experience excitement the MGM way in Springfield, Massachusetts. New traditions start now.
Good guy.
The exclusive home of the Huskies. This is the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Want to get the most out of your exercise? This is registered dietitian nutritionist Melissa Dobbins. A few hours before you work out, eat right. Have peanut butter and honey on whole grain toast, a turkey and Swiss
Sure, it's coming up to 49, right?
With banana, almonds, and fat-free milk.
Right now.
Then a half hour before you
Tell me when it gets to
exercise,
50.
eat some fruit and drink a bottle of water. You'll train longer, work out harder, and delay fatigue.
All right.
Eating right
I can tell you.
For a registered dietitian nutritionist near
You'll be
visit
getting it back.
eatright.org.
So why do teenagers play
shot.
high school sports?
My reason why.
What do you got, 49 and what?
My reason why, 21. Inspire us. 22.
One reason student athletes seldom mention is to get an athletic scholarship. They know that only 2% of all high school athletes are awarded a sports scholarship.
All right, I'm
So
about
why do
25
they play?
seconds fast.
My reason why
I'll
is
fix it later.
friendship.
Tell us your reason
Damn, I
using the
just did it
hashtag MyReasonWhy.
I haven't quite figured out this watch yet. It's
Presented
relatively
by
new.
the NFHS
Bad job by me.
and the high schools in your community.
Hey, stand by. Here comes the bump.
Yep. Bob and Adam back here at the XL Center. Maine is 2-2 like UConn. They opened the season with a pair of wins over St. Lawrence, 3-1 and 4-1. Then at Minnesota Duluth, 8-2 last Friday, 3-2 last Saturday night. But they have a goaltender who was one of the members of the U.S. Junior National Team that played in the World Juniors last year, Jeremy Swayman, who is out of Anchorage, Alaska, Adam, and he's a draft pick of the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, and so this is a part of the country that he hopes to someday be awfully familiar with, obviously spending his collegiate days up in Maine, and well, that's not necessarily a stone's throw from Boston. This is practically next door compared to the campus up in northern Maine. But Swayman is well-traveled from Anchorage, played his junior puck at Sioux Falls, and now he's got 4 games under his belt this season. That blowout against Minnesota Duluth where there were 8 goals scored and a loss, that's never going to help the early season numbers, but I think it's more indicative of what he meant on the national stage than really what he did in one outing 2 games ago.
One thing we'll talk about as we get closer to face-off is the size of this Maine team. They've got some really big boys right across the board. In fact, as I'm looking at the guys playing tonight, there are only 2 players under 6 feet tall on this team. We'll get into that with Mike Cavanaugh a little bit too. As we continue with our pregame show, the head coach of the Huskies coming up next here on the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Big Y World Class Market is proud to be the broadcast booth sponsor of UConn men's hockey. Whether it's a meal for 2 or setting up a feast for the whole team, stop by your local Big Y for it all. Check out the Wing Bar for fresh, ready-to-eat wings and all your favorite flavors. Or grab a Super Bird rotisserie chicken, the biggest rotisserie chicken in the universe. Grinders, party-sized pizza, even sushi and sandwiches. Big Y has all the essentials to satisfy even the hungriest crew. It all begins with a stop at your local Big Y World Class Market.
All right, let's try this again.
All across southern New England,
Nah,
this is the UConn
Yeah.
IMG Sports Network.
2 now.
All right, hang on. Let me see. If I
You
can-
might not
okay.
know everyone in
Oh,
your community,
52 now.
but if you did,
So
you'd
get
see
the
that
53.
people in recovery from mental and substance use disorders are all around.
All right, so I'm a few seconds
Reach out
off
for
now.
support
Okay.
and begin your recovery
All right,
journey.
close enough.
Join the Voices for Recovery. Strengthen
At this rate, you
families
might
and
not have it ready
communities.
by pregame
For confidential
tomorrow.
information on mental and substance use disorders, including prevention and
52:30
treatment
on my
referrals
watch.
for
I'm
you
about
or
10
someone you know,
seconds fast.
call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human
That's
Services.
acceptable for now.
Oh!
You are round MVP.
Yeah, man. Yo, Drew, I finally got round MVP.
That's acceptable.
Round MVP.
No way. That was some ownage.
Finally earning round MVP takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Jacob.
Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start
It's almost like
taking the steps at
Jacob.
knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
It's scary that you started thinking that in stereo. I was a child too. I know. But I know two guys that's an old one. Barton?
Back at the XL Center,
Oh,
UConn
yeah,
and
that's
Maine,
right.
the home opener for the Hockey
right.
Huskies.
Forgot
As Mike
Barton did
Cavanaugh joins us here. 2-2 out of the gate. 8 different goal scorers for your team. Your freshmen have contributed nicely. 3 goals, 10 assists. Both your goalies have gotten their feet wet. All in all, what do you think over the first 4
That's right.
games?
Barney did do that.
Yeah, I think when you start on the road for 4 games, especially with 12 new faces,
I
it's
try
always
not to
going to
think
be a
about
challenge. And I think our record is indicative of where we are as a team. I think right now we're a 500 team. I think we deserve to win 2 of those games, and we deserve to lose 2 of those games. So hopefully, tonight we can have a full 60-minute effort and get going right from the drop of the puck.
Good 3-1 win over RPI last Saturday. No goal scored till the 3rd period. You got 2 from Sasha Payasov, and you got solid goaltending from your freshman, Tomáš Vomajko. What'd you like about his performance?
I thought he was aggressive, which I really liked. I thought he challenged shooters, and when we went up 2-1 in the 3rd, he was strong and made some big saves, and it looked like he was really enjoying the moment instead of playing on his heels. So I really like the fact that he played on his toes and got us a win.
Since Ruslan went down with a concussion, Sasha's been playing with Jakob Kondalik, and they have seemed to be a nice combination so far, and you kept them together. What's working well together for them right now?
Yeah, I thought Carl, Sasha, and Jakob did a great job last week. They were probably our most consistent line over the 120 minutes of hockey, so it wasn't. I didn't think it would be prudent to
Should be in 5 minutes.
mix those guys up. I'm going to let them try to continue their hot streak and hot play and make it 180 minutes of good hockey.
Well, good news tonight. You get your captain back, and Ruslan Azakov's also back in the lineup. Miles has not played this year. I'm anticipating the answer to be the right one. He is a senior. He kind of knows how to handle himself, but you have to caution him, hey, it's your first game. Don't try to do too much right away. Just kind of go out there and play your game.
He's been around long enough. I don't think that was necessary. I just wanted to make sure he was healthy, and he assured me 100%, as well as our trainer, Ed Blair. Both of them said, hey, he's 100%. So it's a long season, and I just want to make sure we have Miles for the entire season.
Well, if he's warming up with a soccer ball behind you here, I think it's okay, man. It's a cutthroat game of warm-up in there that they have.
Yeah, I hope they bring that type of energy to the drop of the puck in the first period.
What's Maine like? I know they've come off a couple of splits. Actually, they come off one sweep of a home series, and then they went to Duluth, played the national champs, and got swept there. What do you expect from the Black Bears?
Oh, I think they're going to pose a lot of problems. They're big up front. They're big all over. They have big defensemen. They're big up front. They're strong in front of the net. I think their defensemen are very experienced. Michael's an excellent defender. He's good at the point offensively. Fossier's very clever. Chase Pearson, he's a pro. He's a 6'3", 205-pound center that plays a heavy game up and down the ice. So we're going to have to skate really well tonight. We're going to have to be quick to pucks and really skate well.
Is it tough to rebound, win or lose, and play a 3:05 game tomorrow with these young guys, or just because they're young, it's easier?
I personally think it's easier because you just get up and play. Most of the day you're sitting around and you're ready to play by 3 o'clock anyway. So especially when both teams are playing at 7 o'clock, I don't think it's an issue.
I'll be thinking about you tomorrow while I'm sitting in the monsoon at the Rent tomorrow. So take care of business tonight, and hopefully we'll talk after.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Mike Cavanaugh, the head coach of the Huskies, will drop the puck coming up next here in Hartford on the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Big Y World Class Market is proud to be the broadcast booth sponsor of UConn men's hockey. Whether it's a meal for two or setting up a feast for the whole team, stop by your local Big Y for it all. Check out the Wing Bar for fresh, ready-to-eat wings and all your favorite flavors. Or grab a Super Bird rotisserie chicken, the biggest rotisserie chicken in the universe. Grinders, party-sized pizza, even sushi and sandwiches. Big Y has all the essentials to satisfy even the hungriest crew. It all begins with a stop at your local Big Y World Class Market.
I already got him on the screen.
Listen up, Huskies fans. This year, MGM Springfield is going to be your go-to destination for all of your post-game celebrations. It's the latest destination from MGM Resorts International, the world's leading hospitality and entertainment company. At MGM Resorts' 27 global destinations, you'll find experiences that exist nowhere else. Celebrity chef dining, electrifying nightlife, world-class accommodations, and so much more. Get ready to experience excitement the MGM way in Springfield, Massachusetts. New traditions start now.
Planning a move? Let Lippincott Van Lines, the official mover of the UConn Huskies, take the worry and stress out of your relocation. Whether you're moving across the country, across the world, or just across the street, Lippincott Van Lines will handle your packing, moving, and storage needs with the care and quality they deserve. If the UConn Huskies football team can trust Lippincott to get their gear to the field on time, you can trust them to get your items where they need to be. Call Lippincott Van Lines today for a free estimate at 800-245-8563.
From Bridgeport to Woodstock, you're listening to Husky Athletics on the UConn IMG Sports Network.
I am incredibly proud to be a physician here at St. Jude. To be in a place where I know my patients are going to get the top-notch care. Not only care, but also research happening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every single person that contributes is a part of that St. Jude family that makes that happen. Because of everyone that is really committed to the mission of St. Jude, we're giving families hope.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children.
Still a little hungry.
Learn more at stjude.org.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesman the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org will help. With 401k tips and smart savings strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by
All right, here we go. Let's get an ID.
Sure. Twelfth all-time meeting about 5 minutes away for UConn and Maine. We'll get into the matchup with the Black Bears after 10 seconds for station identification. You are listening to the UConn IMG Sports Network.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here are your starting lineups for tonight's game. For the Black Bears of Maine, 2-2 out of Hockey East, 18-16-4 a year ago, 10-11-3 in the league. Edwards Trailmarks, along with Chase Pearson and Jacob Schmidt Svetstrup out of Denmark, will be the front line for the Black Bears to start. That's their top line, with senior Rob Michael and freshman Simon Batali, the defensive combination, and the sophomore netminder out of Anchorage. Bears. Meanwhile, for UConn, Huskies at 2-2 as well. They start with their top line of Jakob Kondelik in center, with Carl Elmir and Alexander Payusov, or as he likes to be called, Sasha, on the wings. Miles Gendron back in the lineup tonight, making his first appearance of the season. 25 games without a goal, along with Wyatt Newpower, the defensive combination, and Amanda Hushka back between the pipes. 3 games played, 1-2, 373 goals against, 889 save percentage. Well, Adam, this all-time series is even at 4 with 3 ties. Last season, they opened the campaign up in Orono. Huskies lost 4-3 in overtime in the first game and then won 5-1 in the second matchup. which enabled them to ultimately, on the tiebreaker, get the 5th seed and not play that first weekend of the Hockey East playoffs. But you would expect, with this big lineup that Maine has, and I mentioned going into the break, they have only 2 players under 6 feet in size. There's some big boys, heavy hitting, and Mike Cavanaugh's team better be ready for the good, solid checking game tonight that Maine probably has.
I mean, if there is any question whether, Sasha Payusan at 5'11" is somebody that's going to try and make that name for himself, not only just here in Connecticut, but across the conference, and keep up that 4-goal and 4-game pace offensively, he's going to have to do it, not just here tonight.
On the coaches show earlier this week, the hit he took was a clean hit in Mike's estimation. He got his head down, and it was just good, solid check, and you learn from that, hopefully.
Yeah, and to be clear, there were other options for the Bobcat player than to take the run at Isakov that he did. But having said that, yeah, I don't think that looking at the tape that you could really disagree with Coach Cav, and yeah, that's going to be one of the things we're all going to be watching tonight, UConn fans here in the building.
All right, time now for your national anthem.
Presenting the colors tonight are members of the UConn Air Force ROTC. At this time, we ask that you please rise and join our players and coaches in honoring America, celebrating its freedom and those who protect it, with the singing of our national anthem, performed this evening by Sophia Barbara.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Sophia Barbara.
Boy, she can't be more than 12, maybe. Good job by her. Well done. Officials for tonight's game is assigned to by Hockey East. Peter Schillenhart and Terrence Murphy are your referees. Stephen Murray and Dimitri Antipin are the linesmen. Cozy crowd at the XL Center. Good chunk of them behind the main net right now. The Black Bears in a lot of blue. Dark blue mostly. Light blue shoulders. Light blue at the bottom of the sweaters and light blue in the middle of the socks, but it's dark blue, trimmed in white for the most part. The numbers are very visible, particularly on the back of the jerseys. Dark blue helmets as well. UConn for the first time this year in the home whites, trimmed in the national flag blue and red. Shoulders on the jerseys are national flag blue along with the helmets and pants. The socks are white, trimmed in national flag blue and red. The Huskies for the first and third periods will go from right to left. here at the XL Center as we are ready for the first home game of the season. First of two back-to-back days between the Huskies and the Black Bears. Glad you could be with us as we're in our Big Y broadcast location. Again, this year brought to you by Big Y World Class Markets. It's no big surprise. It's my Big Y. A little chilly up here tonight.
It's going to be a little colder, I think, tomorrow at the football game, Bob.
I would wholeheartedly agree there. So it's Pearson and Kondalik in the center circle. The Husky logos are in the zones of both teams. And, of course, the big Wolfpack logo at center ice, as this is the home of the AHL affiliate of the New York Rangers. Huskies win the faceoff. Dump it deep, and back to get it is Simon Batalla for the Black Bears. Huskies pinching in on the blue line. Snap wrister off a turnover by Kondalik, misses the net high. And the puck back along the near side wall as Kondalik and Genren battle for the loose puck. Now it's picked up by Elmire, but it's quickly knocked back down the ice by Batalla of the Black Bears. Now here is Genren, who's tripped up deep under and behind his own net. Nothing called. And up with it, the loose puck is Svetstrup for the Black Bears. Back to the point. Wrister blocked his keeper. Took the wrist shot, and Kondalik skates out of his own zone and dumps it into Maine ice, and the Huskies change on the go. As Maine will dump it deep now, and the Black Bears will change as Huska gets his first touch of the night. Banks up the near side boards, reverse the flow, back the other way by Maine, and the Huskies get it out to center. Benjamin Freeman right in front of the penalty box boards. Has it knocked away. Now up with the loose puck is Roman Canal into the Maine zone. Plays it off the half boards. Backhander by Freeman from the goal line extended. Hits the pad of the netminder, Swayman. And it's played out to center ice by the Black Bears. We're a minute 10 in. Scoreless. Here comes the Black Bears in a rush. 3-on-2. Deflected in. They score, and it's knocked in by Tim Doherty. Off the centering pass feed is Maine at a 3-on-2. Slow developing, but Huska overplayed the centering pass in Doherty. The easy tap in a minute 18 in. 1-0 Maine.
And even as Doherty came crashing in on the pass, he took a second swipe at it, so he more or less guided the puck from the top of the crease past the sprawling Huska and slipped it under his paddle. When really, for Maine, you wouldn't necessarily qualify that as a shot, but it finds the back of the net.
So 1:18 in, and the Black Bears already the lead on the first shot of the game on a deflection off the turnover and the quick rush up the ice. Play at center ice. Black Bears dump it in. This is Brendan Robbins. Plays it behind the net, back to the point, knocked away by Sean Becker, and then it's taken away by Carter Turnbull of the Huskies. Here comes UConn back the other way. It's Adam Karashek down the left wing. Gets stapled to the boards behind the Maine net, taken off the play by Keith Mewbauer. Now up with it is Cale Howarth behind the net at the entrance to from the Maine locker room. Plays it around the boards, and the Black Bears able to clear it out to center ice. And here comes a rush up the ice. Brendan Robbins. Robbins down the left side. Cuts around Karashek, a backhander. That goes behind the net. And up with it for UConn is Zach Robbins. Stretch pass. Looking out for an open Mark Gatcomb, but the pass a little too far out in front. And then Gatcomb gathers, rips it in on net, knocked away. And the Black Bears able to not clear, but now they do on second effort. Here comes Maine into the attacking end against UConn as Miles Genren gives chase against Jack Quinlan. Works it to the far side. Gatcomb wedges his man off the puck. Puck comes loose, and the Huskies able to clear it out the center right in front of the Maine bench, and the Huskies will make wholesale changes. 2.5 in, already down 1-0. As it's the fourth time now in 5 games the Huskies have trailed early off a first goal of the game. Here comes Sasha Pyasov down the left wing into the Maine end. A wrister right on. And an easy pad save by Swayman as he smothers it right in the midsection. 3 minutes in. 1-0 Maine.
Well, you know, for UConn to be able to come back down and try and get something authoritative on goal would really be nice here, getting this offensive zone face-off, because, as you mentioned, 4th time in 5 games to get down right out of the chute.
Joachim Kondalik on the face-off against the Black Bears. Chase Pearson. Maine wins the face-off as Brady Keeper back behind his own net as Kondalik takes it away from behind the net. Then he gets stapled off the puck by Pearson. Bears trying to clear it off a backhand, but it's pinched along the boards, kept in top of the slot. Wrister gets knocked down. Nope, they call it offsides. It's a delayed offside, so the Huskies have to tag up. So no, the Huskies weren't able to keep it in. Now here's a stretch pass off the boards. Svetstrup and the play offsides as he tried the long pass. And the playoff sides on the Maine Black Bears. Red Jenner in his 15th year as Ben Guite and Alfie Machado are his assistants. Black Bears play in Orono, which is a hike from here.
Yeah, it is far closer to Canada than almost any other city in the United States.
That's why Maine plays all their series, whether they're home or away. They're always two-game series. Face-off one for the Huskies as it's ripped in by Corson Green in right on net from outside the blue line. Jeremy Swayman holds for the face-off with 16:36 to go here in the first. Bears already up 1-0 Huskies officially with 2 shots on net.
You know, in January when schools are on break, they've got a single game on a Wednesday against Colorado College and then a single game against Yale on a Monday night. So if you're Yale, I don't know how you get roped into that, but that is quite the late overnight bus ride when you're on break.
Well, all their Hockey East games are certainly back-to-back nights, as the Huskies will find out next weekend when they visit Burlington to take on the Catamounts of UVM at Gutterson Fieldhouse. Face-off won by the Black Bears. They get it out. Here comes Brennan Robbins with speed, dumps it deep along the half boards in the UConn end. Puck played up, and here comes Zakov with his first touch. Oh, mishandled it, and it goes in right on net, and Huska, sharp as attack, able to cover it up. That's one thing Mike Cavanaugh talked about early in the season about the concentration of goaltenders. You have to stay really focused until once that puck actually clears the blue line, and that time Zakov lost the handle on it, and the puck went right back to Huska.
Yeah, if his mind starts to wander even slightly there, that could have found its way through a 5-hole, but paddle on the ice, no trouble.
Doherty on the face-off against Coulter for the Huskies. One for Maine, back to the point to Rob Michael. Michael along the right point, waits, wrister, right on. Huska makes the save, and then Husky gets dumped, no call, and Howarth plays it out the center ice. Howarth dumps it down the left side into the main zone, but the Black Bears quickly retreat. Simon Batallo with a rink-wide pass. Here's a back pass to the top of the slot to Adam Daw. His shot rips around the boards, and the Huskies able to get it to the line, but not out as Howarth fanned on it, and then a wrister goes in on net. Stick save Huska, and he'll cover. Maine's the type of team, Adam, and we said this about Providence too, when you try to get the puck out, you've got to get it out. You can't fan on it, you can't get cute with it, but that time it was just a matter of Huskies fanning on the clear attempt, and it was a very soft attempt to the blue line and an easy keep-in for Maine.
Yeah, Bob, we're really seeing how crisp Maine looks early on, and you know that was some of the stuff we saw against the Bobcats down in Hamden, and well, UConn fell behind quickly 2-0 in that one, down 1-0 already.
Off the face-off, play it center ice. Now Maine rips it right back in as Quinn Valin puts it behind the net. Philip Nyberg for UConn on the outlet pass, and the Huskies able to break out. Quick 3-on-2. Here's a Zakov down the left wing. He's poke check, gets it back along the half boards. Now near corner, back pass by Freeman. Another back pass in on net as that backhand pass by Brian Regali is saved by Swayman, the netminder for the Maine Black Bears, hugging the near side post. Ruslan Zakov had a goal and an assist in 2+ games before that nasty hit he took in the third period in Hamden. Actually, 1+ games. 1 2/3. Sounds like a baseball statistic, doesn't it? 1 2/3, but he did play 2/3 of that game in Hamden.
And you know, though, when that hit happened, when he left on a stretcher, you could have told me at that moment that he would be back in 2 months, and I would have been thankful.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's back in 2 weeks is just beyond remarkable.
Kondelik the face-off win near side on the point to Green. He plays it around the boards. Kondelik will give chase, comes up with it. Now the top of the slot to Green. Wrister through traffic, they score! May have been deflected out in front. But Corson Green with a wrister from between the Husky logo and the blue line at the top of the slot, got through traffic, and the Huskies tie the game at 4:44. And for the first time this year, we hear my favorite tune. All right, enough of that.
I would say never enough of that. Yeah, there's traffic in front. We'll have to trust that UConn Athletics Communications will sort out whether there's a goal, there's an assist, but there was certainly a beautiful screen set up out front. And for UConn to not fall behind 2-0 or keep this 1-0 deficit much further, they seem to have tied it at 1, and there's going to be a review just to make sure.
Well, it's either going to be, but they're probably looking, because Payusov was at the top of the crease, looking to see if there was any traffic. it's either going to be Corson's goal off a deflection off a defenseman between the circles or Payusov. I'm guessing it's more of the defenseman, and Green will get credit for the goal. But either way, we're tied 1-1 at 4:14. Or 4:44, I should say. Daw and Fossier, by the way, the assists on the first goal of the game by Doherty, his third of the season. If it's Payusov, it's his fifth of the year. If it's Green, it's his first collegiate goal. Face-off, won by the Black Bears. They keep it in at the blue line. Rister through traffic. It's blocked out in front by Robbins, and then he comes up with a loose puck at center ice. He'll play it deep. He'll challenge Rob Michael for the puck in the far corner. Knocked away. Floating puck. Goes back to the point. Kept in by Newpower. He fakes to the top of the circle. Now plays it down low. Centering. Pass. Robbins a bang on it. Swayman gets a stick on it and makes the save. Puck played out to center ice. Knocked right back in by Newpower. Huskies will tag up. Actually, they'll change on the go. 4.5 gone here in the first. We're tied at 1. Huskies and Black Bears. First of 2 here in Hartford. Back pass by Howarth. A bad clear. Just a blind clear, and Maine with a chance to put it in on net. Puck just went wide. Now the Huskies on the clear out. Here comes a streaking Coulter down the left wing. Has a shot blocked. Secondary attempt by Howarth gets knocked down. Loose puck along the near side wall. 5-player scrum. Bears come out with it, and here comes Maine, and it's Emil Westmoreland down the right side, near side corner. Puck played to the half wall. There's a battle. Brendan Robbins lost control of it. Howarth just gets enough of it and gets it to Green. Here comes Green down the left side into the Maine zone. Plays it deep. Centering pass off of Maine's stick, and they give Payusov the goal on the deflection, his 5th of the year. Quickly, Maine comes back 2-on-2. Robbins a wrister, sticked away by Huska. And then another shot taken by Westmoreland. That's also a stick save by Huska as the Black Bears getting cranked up. Here's Alex Binner. Puts one behind the net to the near side half wall. And then it's played back deep, and Corson Green will play it on the far side. And up with it, it's Carter Turnbull for UConn. Turnbull plays it to open ice. Plays it off the half walls in the Maine end, near corner. Icing waved off. And with 13:15 to go in the period, it's Maine's possession down the left side. And they'll play it deep as Daniel Perez plays it far corner. Gendron gets a stick on it. Also, Newpower knocks it away. Now Regali in there to join the scrum. Maine keeps possession, centering pass to the stick of Keith Maubauer. Plays it near side. Izakov and Newpower battling for UConn. 4 players pitchforking at the loose puck. Izakov can't get control, and then there's a wrister taken by Ryan Smith. Knocked away by Huska, went right up in the air and played to the far side wall, and then a big hit by one of the Huskies taking out a Maine player. Didn't see that number. Now here's a centering pass, top of the slot. Wrister, we're going to have a penalty coming up here as it's blocked out in front by Regali, but it looks like we've got an interference penalty coming up against Maine with 12:38 to go in the first. You see that bust that hit the Black Bear along the wall there?
It was, we talked about how Maine's got all this size and how UConn is going to be at a size disadvantage, but instead, it's UConn that's throwing its weight around, and even the interference sends Regali to the ice. And that's the second time that Regali went to the ice, and the first time could have been called a penalty as well, where he took a stick to the shin to the ankle and got tripped up. But first power play of the night, UConn will certainly take it.
Penalty comes up at the 7:22 mark. Huskies on the season are 4 of 20 on the man advantage. Maine's killed off 14 of 16 man disadvantages. Huskies to the power play. Connolly get the other assist along with Green on that goal by Payusov, his 5th of the season. Sasha with it near corner for the Huskies. He's in a battle. 4-player scrum for Payusov, gets it back to the point to Nyberg. He lost it as he tried to play it deep, and Maine clears it down the ice. Quinlivan gets interference at 7:22 for the Black Bears. Here's Connolly. Far corner in the offensive end for the Huskies as it knocked away by Robbins. Now up with it is Payusov. Sasha holds near corner. Plays it back to the point to Nyberg. Now Payusov half wall. Nyberg top of the slot. Holds to his forehand. Wrister. That gets blocked out in front, but Nyberg up with a loose puck for UConn. Plays it far wall. Now back to the point to Wisaki. Along on the blue line with Nyberg. Here's an off-angle drive by Payusov. Almost goal line extended from the near corner, and he missed the net badly, and it rang the boards and all the way down the ice. Not a high percentage shot there by Sasha Payusov.
No, and the double jeopardy of it hitting at such an angle that it works as a full length of the ice clear for the Black Bears.
Here's Howarth at center ice. Plays it deep near side. Bears clear it right back down the ice. As we have 40 seconds to go on the man advantage for UConn. No shots on goal yet. Shots, I think, they have one shot. 7-4 Maine in the shot department thus far. Here's Howarth at center ice for the Huskies. Plays it off to Freeman. Freeman, far corner, plays it around the boards. Ripped by Ryan Smith in the near side. Gets by Izakov playing the point on the power play. And cleared down the ice. Final 15 seconds. Wyatt Newpower, the Minnesota native, gives to Izakov at center. Cuts to the middle as he heads right. Now leaves it to Elmire. Back to Newpower. Wyatt steps in. Wrister. Glove stopped by Swayman. Rebound poked away wide by Regali. Now Izakov, as the penalty time is up, holds at the right circle. Gets deflected back to Newpower at the point. Now it's Karashek as it goes off his skate. But there's Izakov to keep it alive, and then spinning for Maine is Quinlivan right out of the box, and he plays it out to center ice. Right in front of the UConn bench, Izakov plays it back to the defense to Wyatt Newpower as he goes off. That's Izakov, not Newpower. And then Newpower plays it to the main line where it's knocked right back to Newpower. He headed to the bench. Loose puck. Karashek, though, covering up quickly. Gets it for UConn and then backhands it off the glass but not out. Robbins at second effort and backhanded into the UConn bench with 10:04 to go in the first.
The fact that Newpower was headed to the bench with his head down and had that puck just slip past him, that might have been one of the the most disjointed shift changes that we've seen from UConn this season. It really could have led to a much, much better chance for Maine the other way. That could have been disastrous for UConn.
Adam Karashek covered it up quickly for the Huskies. Chase Pearson will take the face-off for the Black Bears. It looks like Max Calter, Huskies' best face-off man. Huskies 50% on draws this year. Maine's 49% for the season. Face-off to the glove side of Hushka. That's his left side. Face-off won by the Black Bears back to the point. Bobbled, though, and the puck comes out of the zone as Simon Batalla couldn't control it at the blue line. And we get the offsides call, and we also get a break. 9:59 to go in the first. Aces, Wild, and Hartford. Huskies and Black Bears on the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Planning a move? Let Lippincott Van Lines.
Yeah, it's a little harder to see numbers up here than it is
Play-by-play coverage of UConn hockey is brought to you by Big Y World Class Market. It's no big surprise, it's my Big Y.
Bob and Adam back here from our Big Y broadcast booth high atop the XL Center. 1-1, 9:59 to go in the first. It's Pearson and Calter on the face-off, along with Howarth and Turnbull for the Huskies. Won by Pearson and the Black Bears, and they'll dump it far corner right in front of the Zamboni boards here at the XL Center. Gendron behind the net, lost it to Trailmax. Trailmax holds behind the UConn net, goes to his backhand towards the Zamboni entrance. Gendron knocks him off the puck. Now spinning off the wall is Svetstrip behind the net. Picked off by Gendron of UConn. Now it's kept in by Michael at the half boards near side as Maine cycles the puck. Here's Michael at the right point. Waits, holds. Someone's without a stick for UConn. Howarth played the body and helped them get it out of the zone. And Michael looking for an interference penalty. Here comes Pyasov back the other way. It's Turnbull actually to his backhand. Lost it to the far corner. And the puck trickles out towards the blue line and out. And Robbins controls for UConn. Howard lucky he didn't get an interference penalty there on the Michael hit.
Oh, that was just beyond comprehension that he wasn't. He went after him without a stick and then two-hand grabbed the stick.
Now Rister right on for the point. Knocked away by Swayman. That Rister taken by Nyberg. Now Canal loose puck. Comes up the left side. Centering pass gets through everyone, including Johnny Evans, who has it. Now throws it out in front. That gets through again. Near side to Canal. Canal plays it to the spinning Gatcombe. Mark Gatcombe Plays it to the near side corner. Puck behind the net. Robbins battles for the loose puck. He's in a scrum with Binner. Alexis Binner lost it. Now Simon Batalla plays it up the boards and down the ice. And Nyberg retreats for the Huskies. He'll skate behind his own net. Chase given by Mitchell Fossier. Huskies played out to center ice, but then Fossier comes with the loose puck at the UConn blue line. Comes in down the right side, goes to his backhand, knocked away by Kondalik. And the puck played out to center ice in front of the bench areas where Elmire for UConn gets hit along the boards, taken by Brady Keeper. Keeps the puck alive, but the puck came out of the zone, and it's offsides on the Huskies. Had a lot of that so far. Last couple of minutes, some hairline plays at the blue line. Is it off? Is it on? More times than not, it's been off.
Kondalik had the advantage of Howard's stick still laying on the ice from about a minute and a half ago, helping him break that up. So Kondalik gets the poke check, but just a stray piece of lumber helped as well.
Patrick Shea on the face-off along with Kondalik. Shea wins it for Maine just outside the Maine zone. Now Kondalik with the forecheck comes up with the puck along the half boards as a four-player scrum for it, and the Huskies up with it. Kondalik, who's doing yeoman work along the boards. Works with Elmire. Elmire comes up with a loose puck, comes to his backhand. Top the slot, works right. Now a backhander to Kondalik. Kondalik top of the right circle, spins at the point, lost control of it, battles for it, and the Black Bears get it out to center ice. Joachim Kondalik's a big boy. Solid fellow, too. He's almost 6'5", 230. That's pretty good for a first-year player, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you hear Randy Edsel talk about his freshman needing to bulk up. No, the freshman for UConn hockey does not.
Adam Karashik to Corson Green. Green assisting on the UConn Huskies' first goal. Plays it out to center ice. Carl Elmire up with it. Crosses center. Dumps it deep. Huskies will change their defenseman with 7:15 to go in the first in a 1-1 tie. Now the puck at the blue line for Maine. Freeman overskates it. Now up with it for Maine is Brendan Robbins down the right side. Spins top of the circle. Back of the right point. Feathers it to the half wall where it's bunted down low. Near corner. Puck battle for it is Westmoreland up with it for Maine. Now a loose puck up with it's Ryan Smith at the right circle. He has it knocked off his stick by Newpower, and Wyatt Newpower comes out of traffic, and he rumbles up down the left side. Gets it off to Regali, who gives chase. Brian Regali behind the main net. Now along with Freeman. It's a four-player jostle for the puck. Freeman up with it, tries to go short side, picks the corner, and he knocks it over Swayman's glove and off the boards, and Maine able to clear it out to center ice. Nyberg retreats into his own end. He's being harassed by Ryan Smith. Plays it around the boards. Gets it off to Max Coulter for the Huskies. Plays it out to center ice. And then Isakov nearly picked off a pass and went the other way. But Maine able to play it down the ice. Gets through everyone. And icing will be called on the Black Bears. Our broadcast of UConn hockey in this 1-1 tie. Brought to you by UConn Health, the official healthcare partner of the UConn Huskies. Are you ready to freeze your butt off tomorrow? Wear your rain gear tomorrow. 10:30 for the UConn football countdown, the kickoff for UConn and UMass in a nor'easter tomorrow at the Rent.
I'm not as concerned about the temperatures. I'm concerned about the rain, which will then make 40 feel like 25.
Exactly. Who'll stop the rain? Now puck off the faceoff. Howard had his stick knocked out of his hands, and Maine able to play it down the ice. Here's a wrister. Glove stopped by Huska as he challenges his man, comes out to the top of the crease as Pearson took the wrist shot as he streaked down the left side, and Huska with the easy save. Shots 8-6 right now in favor of those Black Bears.
But I'm confused. Last Saturday it was 90 degrees at kickoff. That was Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, you were in Tampa,
okay.
Florida.
All right,
yeah.
well,
yeah.
I guess that evens out.
Maine also with the advantage in faceoffs, currently 9-5. Pearson on the faceoff to the right of Huska. 6:09 to go. Now they kick out Pierce. And they bring in Adam Daw. There was a Jason Daw that played in Hartford, I believe, with the Wolfpack. There's a centering pass, goal line extender right out in front. Up with its Coulter for UConn, plays it off the backboards, and then he and Newpower miscommunicate. Up with it is Pearson, plays it deep, top the slot, fake wrister by Michael. Gets it back, gets tripped up, there'll be a penalty here. Is that Howarth or Nyberg? It's Howarth that gets called for the trip. And that comes at the 14-11 mark. UConn's first penalty of the night. Maine to the man advantage.
Yeah, that is pretty clear cut there. As we'll get a look on replay and just simply a blocked shot. So good job getting between the shot and the goal. And then as the rebound came away, he reached with the stick and the man went down.
Maine 2 for 19 on the man advantage. UConn has killed 13 of 18. That's been a weak spot so far. Now here's a pass down low. Goal line extended, broken up, and the Huskies able to clear as Kondalik plays it up the boards and down the ice, and giving chase for the Black Bears is Alexis Binner. Binner races out of his own zone, gets away from Kondalik down the left side. Hits center ice. Now the blue line hits the brakes with a centering pass. That goes off the stick of Patrick Shea, who plays it deep behind the net. Now Shea plays it in the near corner. Centering pass up top. Now here's Brady Keeper. Keeper at the right point, works his way in. Goal line extended, gets it into Doherty. Loose puck is knocked away by Karashek, and then Doherty plays it back to the point to Keeper. Keeper, top the slot, fake slapper by Binner. Gets it back, one-timer, deflected just wide as Shea got a stick on it. And the puck went off the side of the net. And now Regali takes a haphazard hack at it and rips it down the ice, as he just turned and fired it between the blue line and the top of the circle on the far side. Minute into the power play for Maine. We're tied at 1. Shots are 9-6 in favor of Maine. They organize out of their own zone. Comes up the ice is Mitchell Fossier. Rink-wide pass. First there to get it is Max Coulter. And then it's knocked down the ice. His teammate Miles Gendron one-timed it from his own goal line to the other goal line. And up with it is Jeremy Swayman to leave it for his defense. 4:20 to go in the period. Here comes Rob Michael spinning at center ice. Drops it off for Pearson. Has it stripped, and the Huskies clear it again. Good forechecking as the Huskies getting it done. Carl Elmire, as always, doing it for the Huskies. Here comes Michael out of his own zone. Harassed by Brian Regali. Leaves it for Fossier. Crosses center. Wrister. That's blocked away by Huska. And then a one-timer by Coulter. Couldn't clear it. Nice block by Quinvillin. Quinvillin. Goal line extended to Pearson, who does a spinorama. Somebody lost a stick. That's a Husky, but UConn able to clear it out the center anyways. And Freeman, who uses his size, gets it to the Maine blue line where Pearson picks it up for Maine. Penalty time is up for the Huskies, so both teams 0 for 1 on the man advantage. But here comes Pearson the other way with a wrister shoulder save by Huska. And then he turns, and Freeman plays it up the boards and down the ice. Out to center ice. We're up with it is Becker for Maine. 3:25 to go in the first. 1-1, UConn and Maine. Puck deep in the Maine zone is Wasaki with a good forecheck. Now Evans with a good forecheck forces Maine to throw it down the ice. Won't make the line in time for icing, so Green for UConn has to play it and stops behind his own goal and leaves for Adam Karashek on the far side. Goes goal line to blue line. Wasaki couldn't get a stick on it. They wave off the icing, so Swayman has to play it behind his own net with 3 minutes to go in the period. Now a turnover far corner. Wasaki up with a loose puck. Trickles back to the point to Karashek, who will just float it deep behind the Maine net. As Zakov gets skidded off the puck, and the Black Bears able to clear it out the center as Robbins will carry. Give and go with Pieper. Pieper gets it back. Centering pass gets through everyone. Up with it, it's Becker for Maine, and then he gets ridden off the puck by Wasaki, who's checking well tonight thus far. Puck played behind the UConn net as it's Evans in a battle for the Huskies. 2 Black Bears, 2 Huskies. That's usually the case. 4-on-4 pitchforking scrum for the loose puck. Now the near side wall. The official saying, come on, move the puck, boys. Back in the old days, they would have stopped this in the old days of the NHL. Comes loose at the faceoff circle, and Wasaki will cross center and get enough of it to make a change into the main end with 2:15 to go. Sam Becker spins for the Black Bears. Now it's Binner. Binner out of his own zone, hits center ice. He'll play it along the glass behind the UConn net. Gets by Huska to the near side wall. Gendron and Payusov work to get it out. Now Kondalik out of the zone. Gets it to Elmire. Elmire into the main zone. Poke check. Kondalik there with support. Puck now to the far side wall as Binner battles for the puck. Now coming in is Ryan Smith for support, but kept in by Newpower. Now a centering pass. Here's Elmire alone in front. He scores! The keep-in by Newpower got it to Kondalik, and Elmire was wide open right between the circles. He walked into the little stick deke, and the Huskies take the 2-1 lead.
You know, Kondalik is really, really good, and that is his 7th assist of the season already in just 4.5 games, and that was an absolute bullet ripped right to the tape of Elmire, who had no other choice but to skate in all alone on goal and put that one past Swayman. And boy, from 1-0 down, now first period's not over yet. Huskies have a lead.
18-18. Elmire's third from Kondalik and Newpower, and give Wyatt credit for the keep-in at the right point that has given UConn the lead. Puck behind the net. Here's Roman Canal. Spins away from a Black Bear. That'll be Adam Daw. Plays it near side for Cal Howarth. Howarth gets knocked off the puck by Fossier. But the puck trickles back into the main end with 1:20 to go in the period as Howarth with a forecheck. Puck rings down the ice. This will be icing on the Black Bears. Our coverage of UConn hockey brought to you by Moe's, the official burrito of the Huskies. And don't forget, if you haven't heard them, the soccer game scheduled for tomorrow night against SMU has been moved to Sunday at noon. Wonder why. It's the last regular season game at Maroney Stadium as Maroney Memories winding down. But rumor has it, the Huskies win the American, they'll host at Maroney Stadium. So if they win, they're the champs. Face-off won by Maine, but they played off the glass and out. Cross ice here at the XL Center. Adam Karashuk on the big board, the Ridgefield native. No points yet in 4 games career in his second year. 4 goals, 4 assists as a Husky, who made a very nice name for himself in his freshman season. Freeman on the face-off to the glove side of Swayman. Now he gets tossed out. Regali will skate in. 2-1 UConn, 1:10 to go in the first. Payusov and Elmir, the goal scorers. Face-off 1, Zakov. Far boards. Now it's chipped up, but Zakov able to get a stick on it and knock it down. Now Michael from Maine behind the net. Zakov all over him with 1 minute to go. Turns it over to Freeman. He lost it. Maine able to finally get it rink wide, and the Black Bears will clear it. The center ice is Schmidt-Svetstrup able to get it out the center ice, but the Black Bears are offsides, or we got a penalty? Nope, they got Regali going to the box. Second penalty on UConn. It comes inside 1 minute to go in the period. 19-10, the time of the penalty. And Regali knew what he did, so he skated right to the bench.
It was Edwards Trailmax, and I don't know if there was earlier in the play, he went down behind the play and started shaking his head and was slow to get up and kind of wobbled as he skated back. So we'll keep an eye on whether Trailmax.
Oh, and they're going to the replay monitor too.
Yeah, it was a hit. I think there could have been a hit to the head, and Trailmax really did go down hard, kind of behind the play. And, he, again, keep an eye on him into the second period, whether we do see him later on in this game.
Good job, Eagle Eye. See, Wayne Norman would do that. Wayne Norman has learned to look off the ball at football to see who would throw the key block, that sort of thing. He's good at that stuff.
Well, it's all about not paying attention, and then all of a sudden what you'd been staring at that had nothing to do with anything, the guy goes down.
See, you didn't have to tell anybody that. Nobody would have known.
That's just a little secret in the business is what it is.
Basketball gets underway next Friday, the first exhibition on the network, as Danny Hurley and the men will play their lone public exhibition against Scott Burrell in Southern Connecticut next Friday. Randy Levine will join me for the broadcast pregame at 6:30 from Storrs. Scott Burrell will join the Huskies of Honor next Friday night. Adam, Mike, Wayne, and Christian Antonio will be on their way to Tulsa for football against the Golden Hurricane next Saturday night. Oh, shock, another road game at 7 o'clock.
You got a recommendation? What's there to do in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
I've usually eaten right at the hotel.
Okay.
2-minute penalty, so whatever it is, it's nothing but a minor. So that's good news for the Huskies. Might be a hit to the head nonetheless. I have not posted it on our computer screen yet, but 49.7 seconds to go. Maine 0 for 1 on the man advantage thus far. Shea on the face-off against Coulter. Or make that Elmir. 16, not 18. Maine wins the face-off. Back to the point to keeper. Now top the slot to Binner. It's an elbowing penalty. Now here's the Black Bears. Doherty turns, wrister, pad save by Huska, and he'll dive out, goal line extended, and make the save. So Regali gets 2 for elbowing at the 19-10 mark. Down to 35 seconds to go in the period. Huskies 7 shots on goal. Maine has 12. Adam Huska has been sharp thus far for the Huskies after that opening deflected goal. Here's Pearson on the faceoff with Connolly. Glove side of Huska. That'll be his left. Pearson's asked to leave the faceoff dot, so Jacob Schmidt-Svetstrup will take the faceoff. Say that fast 10 times. That's a tongue twister. Here's Michael off the faceoff win. Gives it to the left point to Fossier. Back to Michael. One-timer. Stopped by Huska to the far side wall. Coulter takes a hack at it and rings it down the ice. Back to the netminder, Jeremy Swayman out of Anchorage, Alaska. Now here's Michael out of Camulus, New York. Plays it out to center ice. Up with it's Pearson. Pearson down the left side. Drops it back to Michael. Centering pass off the stick of Coulter. It's 5 seconds to go in the period. Centering pass blocked back to the point. Michael takes a one-timer. Deflected. Shot at the horn. Fanned on to the back glass by Svetstrip. And that will do it for the first period. Shots on goal unofficially. Maine with 13. UConn with 7. The Black Bears will have 1:11 left on their power play when we begin the second period. 2-1 UConn after one. Adam Giardino and Drew Casey with the intermission report. When we come back to the XL Center after these messages, you're listening to the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Big Y World Class Market is proud to be the broadcast booth sponsor of
Got all
UConn men's
three going
hockey.
for
Whether
you
it's
if
a
you need 'em,
meal
Adam.
for two or setting up a feast for the whole team, stop by your local Big Y.
So the 15-minute clock hasn't started yet.
Fresh, ready-to-eat wings and all your favorite flavors. Or grab a
I'll let you know
Superbird
the moment
rotisserie
it does.
chicken, the biggest rotisserie chicken in the universe. Grinders, party-sized pizza, even sushi and sandwiches. Big Y has all the essentials to satisfy even the hungriest
Now.
crew. It all begins with a stop at your local Big Y World Class Market.
Okay.
We bleed blue. This is the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Of 2-1 after one in downtown Hartford, the home opener for the Hockey Huskies, looking to get to 3-2 on the season. Maine opened the scoring, but the Huskies with 2 unanswered, again for that 2-1 advantage after 20 minutes. Drew Casey with you inside the IMG Network studios. Take a peek around the rest of the sports world tonight, and we'll check the rest of Hockey East in just a moment. But first, some late October baseball. Of course, the World Series, Game 3 between the Red Sox and Dodgers in Los Angeles. The Red Sox with a commanding 2-0 series lead. Game 3 getting underway in just about 20 minutes. 8:09 first pitch. Rick Porcello goes for the Red Sox, and Walker Buehler starts for the Dodgers. An understatement to say the least that the Dodgers really need a win tonight. No team has blown a 2-0 series lead in the World Series after they won the first 2 games at home since 1981. That was the Yankees blowing it, but doing so against who? The Dodgers. Since then, though, 15 times a team has won the first 2 at home. They've gone on to win the World Series each of those 15 times. The Red Sox looking to increase that number to 16. They could take a real commanding 3-0 series lead with a win tonight. Transitioning now, as mentioned, to the rest of Hockey East on this Friday. Full slate of conference action starting in league in Amherst. 16th ranked UMass hosting Merrimack, front end of a home-and-home. Merrimack coming off a big win last weekend, shutting out BU 4-0. And UMass coming off an even bigger weekend. They went out to number 1 Ohio State and picked up an upset win, split the 2-game series so far tonight. UMass has a 1-0 lead. They are late in the first period. Elsewhere, number 18 Northeastern opening up Hockey East play on the road at UMass Lowell. Both teams coming in 2-2 early on, in Northeastern also with a 1-0 lead. They are late in the first period. The third and final game of the night in the conference tonight, that is 6th-ranked Providence taking on 0-3 Boston University. The Terriers a surprising start under first-year head coach Albie O'Connell. O'Connell named the head man after David Quinn took the New York Rangers head coaching job in the offseason, and currently tonight it is 1-0 Providence, just 4.5 minutes in to the first period. That one got going a little bit after 7:30. 2 finals, or 1 final in UConn action already today. 4th-ranked UConn field hockey, 4-1 winners over Georgetown, and volleyball coming up in just about 10 minutes on the road at Wichita State. We'll keep you posted throughout, coming up at the second intermission. Again, our game, UConn leading Maine 2-1 after one. Back for stats to downtown Hartford, and then the second period right here on the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Big Y World Class Market is proud to be the broadcast booth sponsor of UConn men's hockey. Whether it's a meal for 2 or setting up a feast for the whole team, stop by your local Big Y for it all. Check out the wing bar for fresh, ready-to-eat wings and all your favorite flavors. Or grab a Super Bird rotisserie chicken, the biggest rotisserie chicken in the universe. Grinders, party-sized pizza, even sushi and sandwiches. Big Y has all the essentials to satisfy even the hungriest crew. It all begins with a stop at your local Big Y World Class Market.
Fight on, Connecticut. This is the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Get him coming off the ice and come
Hamilton
back
was adopted from a rescue in 2008.
Yeah.
He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. This little face. How would you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star, and Shelter
good.
Pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
When using an ATM, you probably don't let strangers look over your shoulder. But experts at the Office of the Comptroller say thieves may watch without you knowing it. Thieves can use card readers to skim or steal account information, and tiny cameras to watch you type in your ID number. To reduce your risk, beware of any unusual or suspicious devices attached to card reading machines. And cover the keypad when entering your PIN.
I don't
For
like
more
this Premier
information,
line. I'm not a big
visit
fan.
helpwithmybank.gov.
Adam, as long as you get out by 1 minute on the clock, we're good. We have a 2-minute break scheduled, all bonus, though.
All right. Back inside the XL Center, Adam Giardino with you. 2-1, UConn with a lead after 1 period of play over the Maine Black Bears. They've made the trip on down from northern Maine, and here they are in Hartford, but UConn so far taking it to them as the home team. Now, UConn, they've been outshot pretty thoroughly. 13-7, Maine has the advantage in shots despite trailing in the contest, and Maine has also held the advantage
in face-offs. So when you talk about, well, what can Maine really do? They've controlled the action by winning 15 out of 21 face-offs. They've outshot UConn. They just would expect a little bit more from Jeremy Swayman, but UConn, those 2 goals, great opportunities, great chances in front. Hard to blame the netminder in Swayman for letting either of those 2 shots get through. One was a screen with a little deflection out in front, and then another one was right on the doorstep one-on-one with Carl Elmire. So for UConn, they've simply had 2 excellent opportunities and capitalized on both. Well, with Game 3 of the World Series happening clear across the country, Little Sweet Caroline resonates through the XL Center as we are just a few minutes away from the second period getting underway. 2-1, UConn with a lead over Maine. We'll step aside when we return. It'll be Bob Joyce carrying you into the second through the second period as UConn looks to build on this lead. We'll be back. Second period action next on the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Listen up, Huskies fans. This year, MGM Springfield is going to be your
Big Y World-Class Market. It's no big surprise. It's my Big Y.
Welcome back to our Big Y broadcast location. High atop the XL Center. Bob Joyce, Adam Giardino, Drew Casey, your broadcast trio tonight. Multiple shots in that period for Maine. Michael had 3. Pearson had 2. Doherty, the goal scorer, had 2. Meanwhile, of the 7 Husky shots, only 1 multiple shooter, and that would be Alexander Payusov, and one of those was a deflection. So that's the story with that. Second period as the team's making their way out after 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Adam, you mentioned the 15-6 face-off numbers at the end of one. Shea was 5-0, Pearson 5-2, Doherty 4-1. Huskies Coulter 3-5, Kondelik was 2-5, and UConn a little work to do trying to kill off the rest of this man advantage for the Black Bears as we begin period number 2.
Winning a face-off draw here and firing at the length of the ice could give you a 10-15 second start, but yeah, this isn't a little chip sliver of a power play left for Maine. They've still got more than half to go.
Pearson and Coulter in the face-off center circle. Huskies are going from left to right here at the XL Center here in the second period. So this will be the period that the changes will be long as the benches, of course, here at the XL Center on the same side between the blue lines. Maine wins another face-off. And here's Fossier. Plays it rink wide, gets it off to Trail Max. Now back to the top of the slot. Michael waiting for a screen. Gives it near side to Svetstrup. Back up top to Michael. Svetstrup. One-timer rung the goalpost. Huska also got an arm on that too, but that solidly rang the post. And a deflection by Trail Max. Missed the net. Short side off the centering pass. Bouncing puck at the blue line at the point. Michael keeps it in. Good forecheck by Elmire. And it was a backhanded out to center ice. Good work by the Grunge men. Coulter and Elmire to get that one out as fresh bodies come back out. 30 seconds on the man advantages. Giving chases new power as the puck rings around the boards. Kondelik there for support. He skates behind the net. He'll rip it around the glass and down the ice. on the far side. So the Huskies with good work so far, but Maine, 2 quality opportunities there. 1 hit and iron. Favorite sound effect in sports? Hockey puck clanging the post. Nothing better.
Most goalies, too.
Goalie's best friend. That's right. Here's Brady Keeper. Rink wide feed. Maine attacks his own fanning on his shot was Doherty, the goal scorer. Comes back to the point, and Condoleek up with it for UConn as the penalty time is up. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Here comes Condoleek down the right side. Has it knocked off his stick. As the Black Bears able to whip it around the boards. Keeper able to get it around the boards far side, but it's kept in. Puck gets through. Here comes Isakov. Backhander! Stopped by Swayman, who was looking behind him. As a spinorama backhand right off the bench by Ruslan Isakov. In on net on the stick side, and it's a good thing Jeremy Swayman held that arm close to his body because it would have been 3-1 otherwise. Nasty backhander there.
Just, that's the stuff that you see from Isakov, and, earlier it's just evident how much this team really could use a guy like him.
Isakov off the face-off. The shot was blocked from Green, but now Isakov, the steal top of the slot, gets bumped off the puck as the big defenseman Keith Neubauer knocks out the center ice, and here come the Black Bears as Westmoreland ridden off the puck. Good hit by Karashik. Now it's Green. Leaves it for Freeman. Freeman will give chase. He's in a battle with Patrick Shea for the puck. Freeman up with it. Skates behind the main net. Goes to the Zamboni boards. Now he reverses the flow to Isakov. Ruslan Isakov spins. Lost an edge. Turned it over to Becker, and the Black Bears able to race it to center ice. Here comes a streaking Becker, but the play's offsides. 17:51 to go here in period 2. Huskies trailing the Black Bears 2-1. They did not credit, of course. Now here's one of the oddities: is an interference penalty coming up against Maine, as it will be Robbins to the box for interference. When a puck hits the goal post, it is not a shot on goal. Have you ever heard that one before?
Yeah, and it doesn't make it any more palatable. It feels like it should be, but I guess letter of the law, it makes sense.
Penalty time is at 2:12. Second power play for the Huskies, but Maine right off the bat clears it down the ice. Frank Polnasic, longtime statistician for the Whalers, taught me that many moons ago, before you were even born. Here's Wasaki down the right side, crosses center, dumps it deep for the Huskies. Elmire and Calter give chase along with Condoleek. And the puck down the ice as again Maine clears it, and back to get it is Philip Nyberg. 26 for the Huskies. Plays blue line to Payusov. Payusov dumps it back to the blue line. Wasaki there along with Condoleek. Now it's Condoleek who gloves it down, goes to his backhand, spins at the right circle, leaves it for Elmire. Walks in on the doorstep. Centering pass broken up. Loose puck, they blow it dead. The near side official blew it dead because if you're the head official or a referee, you don't see the puck, you blow the whistle no matter where it is. And the puck ultimately came loose. Fans not happy about it, but if the referee loses it, you blow the whistle.
Carter Turnbull was the man on the back side of the post, ready to take a whack at it and try and make this a 3-1 Huskies lead.
Cale Howarth with Freeman and Isakov, along with Evans and Neupauer out there for UConn. Maine wins another face-off, back to the point, kept in by Neupauer at the left point. Skates in, fakes, gets it off to Evans near side. Back to Neupauer, top of the slot. Now Isakov at the left point. Skates in, top of the circle. Wrister through traffic. Glove down by Swayman, and he holds for the draw. Ruslan Isakov has got a great pair of hands. And you can just see it the way he just caresses that stick in his hands. It's like a magic wand. And he does amazing things with that stick and controls the puck.
And just how quickly he's able to take that puck and go from a non-threatening position to all of a sudden that puck is stuck in the midsection of the goalie.
Freeman loses the faceoff once again. Maine dominating that department as Doherty wins the faceoff. Puck behind the net. Pearson goes to his backhand along the near side wall, and then his backhand 9-irons it down the ice. Adam Hushka, who's been rock solid between the pipes for UConn, leaves for Wyatt Neupauer. We're down to 40 seconds on the UConn power play. 2-1 early second period. Neupauer out of his own zone, gets it to Freeman. Freeman tried to play it to the blue line, broken up, and then Neupauer with second effort gets it to the line, but Michael breaks it up for Maine. And Ruslan Isakov retreats for the Huskies, leaves for Johnny Evans. Evans with 25 seconds on the man advantage. Skates out of his own zone for the white-clad Huskies, wearing the national flag blue helmets and pants. He plays it to the near side corner, ripped around the boards by keeper of Maine, and it comes out and down the ice. Huschka's going to have to come out of his net as Pearson was there to pursue the puck. Plays it out to Zakov to the Maine blue line, but it's broken up by Muehlbauer. And now up with its course in green. He's rubbed off the puck, and it's cleared down the ice. And the first to get it will be Adam Daw. Daw up with it. Breakaway. Spins the goal. Karashek there to close him off. Blocks it as the penalty time is up. Centering pass. Backhand shoulder save by Huschka. Coming off the line was Fossier. Now loose puck in the slot. Rebound knocked away as Calter gets a body on it. It's a mass scrum for it, and Huschka finally covers. With the exception of the two Maine defensemen, everyone else within a 5-foot radius of that puck right to the side of the goal for Adam Huschka.
And just how quickly they blew the play dead at the opposite end of the ice when the puck actually had poked free. Now at this end of the ice with UConn desperately hoping for a whistle to end the play, end the action in that scrum out front. It took a long time before the whistle finally came out.
Well, the referee, too, is on the correct side where he could see the puck. They're taught if you don't see the puck, you blow the whistle. And if you see the puck, you don't blow it.
Simple enough rule.
Yep. Tim Doherty wins another faceoff. One-timer back to the point. Deflected. Glove save by Huschka. He makes another glove save. As coming in off the left side, Fossier. As Adam Huschka, two big stops for the Huskies there as Maine dominating the faceoff department tonight. And they're doing it by a wide margin. 19-7, 4-1 thus far here in the second.
Yeah, this is a problem when it's a face-off in the offensive zone for Maine and you just can't get the puck out of the zone.
Another win for Doherty, but jumping the gun that time is Elmire. And a tripping penalty coming up against the Black Bears. Here's Elmire down the right side, drops it. It's touched up by Adam Daw, but a tripping penalty coming up against Maine as Carl Elmire anticipated the Maine face-off win, and he took offensive liberties. Interesting tripping call, too. Wasn't much of a trip as Alexis Binner will go to the box at the 4:41 mark.
No, I didn't think there was much there, and obviously it was a one-on-two through center ice, and Elmire didn't try to sell it. He went down quickly, popped right back up onto his skates. There wasn't a whole lot of theatrics, but it got the call anyway.
Huskies 0 for 3 on the man, or making 0 for 2 on the man advantage. Top of the slot, here's Wasaki with Nyberg. Centering pass down low to Elmire. Puck loose. Elmire takes a bang at it. Kondelik gets it back to the point to Nyberg. Now Nyberg to Kondelik near side. At the faceoff dot. Rister centering pass off the stick of Elmire. He tried to wedge it in on net, but Swayman able to shut the door and hold for the faceoff as Michael and Elmire exchanging words behind the net. Carl Elmire will talk trash if you heard the first coach's show. He's not afraid to open up his yap and say something, being a gentleman from Montreal. Not insulting Montreal folks, but they like their hockey up in Montreal, and they are not afraid to voice their opinion.
And might be able to give it to you in multiple languages too.
Face-off won by the Black Bears as they're able to skate it out. It's Pearson comes down the left side out the center. Look for a streaking Smith, but it's broken up by a Zakov. But the play was offsides anyways. The Black Bears clear it, and now the Huskies reorganize. Here's Freeman off the feed from Izakov. Freeman gets it back, takes a bang at it from the right circle, broken up, and Smith will ring the boards and rip it down the ice. And Newpower will give chase. Huschka back to play it as Robbins putting the heat on for Maine. And Newpower organizes with Johnny Evans and Izakov. Ruslan Izakov, rink wide pass for Evans right off the center ice stripe. He'll tip it in deep. Up to get it for Maine is Sam Becker. Rings it around the boards. Izakov back past to Newpower, top the slot. Newpower to Kondelik. Now it's tipped right to Evans. Evans at the right point gives to Kondelik near circle. On the outside of it, now top of the circle, walks in, centering pass out of the net to Howard. Broken up. Kondelik bounces on the loose puck, but Maine able to grab it and rip it over the head of the Huskies and almost took Mike Kavanaugh's head off and out of play. 42 seconds of the man advantage. I tell you what, Yannim Kondelik, he's not overly fancy with the puck, but he's big, he possesses it well, and he hits the right spots to make passes, and he made another nice pass, giving Carl Elmire a pretty good look at it.
Yeah, this is a real unexpected surprise when you talk about all of the punch and power that UConn's freshmen were expected to have coming in. Kondelik certainly on that list and on that radar, but he's been even better than advertised.
Another face-off win for Maine, and Brady Keeper using his body to wedge off a Husky and rips it down the ice with his backhand. 30 seconds to go in the man advantage for UConn. 13:45 in the second. Huskies 2-1. Here's Wasaki. Plays it off the boards near side to the near corner. Keeper plays it around the boards. Elmire able to get a stick on it. Puts on the brakes. Tries to play it deep, but it's knocked away as two Black Bears played out the center. Now Nyberg leaves it for Kondalik, who will play it deep, giving chase along with Brady. Keeper. It's a three-player scrum. Kondalik and Keeper. Now a third Husky joins the scrum. A fourth Husky in there. So up with its Payusov near corner. Plays it top the slot to Nyberg. Waits, holds, finds Payusov through his screen. Deflected. Kondalik takes a bang at it from the near side. Pad save by Swayman. Now puck behind the net as Elmire goes to his backhand. Leaves it for top the slot to Green. Green goes to the left point. Wrister through traffic. Deflected. Back to the line. Not out. Nyberg the keep in. Nyberg throws a heater over the crossbar off the back glass, and Maine able to get it out to the point and finally clear the zone as the penalty time is up. 12:50 to go in the second. Payusov had the puck get over his stick. Back into the Maine end, but not deep enough for icing. So retreating for the Black Bears with a forecheck. A pass off to Michael, and he'll just play it off the boards out the center ice as the Huskies suddenly skating better with more purpose and possessing the puck better. As we say that, though, a turnover. Here's Doherty down the right side, but Karashik there to break it up. Puck at the right point. Now Robbins throws it out the center ice. And up with a loose puck is Gatcombe. And he plays it back for Swayman behind the Maine net. And Maine clears it out the center ice, blue line to blue line. But a nice cover by Gendron. Gets it to the blue line, but too many Huskies were the offensive end, so they couldn't touch the puck. Now nice check as Doherty gets ridden off the puck. As Newpower trying to take offensive liberties, but he gets ridden off by Fossier. And he'll play it back into the UConn end. Spinning is Doherty. Doherty plays it deep, giving chases Adam Daw. Daw knocks it off the leg of Gendron. Miles takes a hack at it along with Robbins. Robbins keeps it alive, and the puck clears the zone. Gets by Michael out to center ice. Now the puck at center. Here is Fossier. Plays it to the UConn line. Huskies at center. Cross center ice, rip it in, they'll make a change. 11:35 to go in the period. Fast-moving second period, 2-1 UConn. Here's Adam Daw. Crosses center, he'll dump it deep. First to get it is Nyberg. Plays it off the wall to Turnbull. Turnbull on the outlet pass was looking for Howard. Gets by him. This will be no icing. Looked like it was going to be. Canal the keep in. Then it's knocked away off a leg and cleared out the center ice, and Nyberg back to get it for UConn. Leaves it for Turnbull. Carter Turnbull out of Alberta, Canada. Crosses center down the right wing, hits the blue line, works his way in, gets ridden off the puck. Howarth gives chase in the near corner. Howarth battles out to the point, kept in by Green. He'll ring it around the boards to Howarth. Howarth was backhand, centering pass right on a one-time bank shot at it, and Swayman able to hold it. Who took that shot? Was that Canal? No, that was Payusov. Off the line, off the Howarth centering pass. Two big boys, Howarth and Kondalik, and Cal Howarth, he's due to get a goal. He's only got one assist so far in the season, but you can see him as just as good a playmaker as Kondalik for the Huskies, using that size.
Just able to hold and keep that possession with some strength. That's what you like to see in your offensive zone.
And it was Turnbull that took the shot, not Payusov. 8, not 9. Interference penalty coming up off the face-off. It'll come at the 9:04 mark, and it's a Black Bear going to the box. Fourth penalty on Maine, third straight this period. And it will be Cannon Pieper that will go to the box.
And actually, I think I have it as Alexis Binner for the second time going in the last.
Binner?
Yeah, in the last 4.5 minutes. He got called for that tripping at the 4:41 mark, and now at the 9:04 mark, Binner goes in the box again.
15, not 16. See the number, it was, scrunched up in the back. So the Huskies right back to the power play. Here's Freeman. Freeman rumbles down the right side behind the Maine net. Michael beats him to the spot. Back to the point. Newpower to keep in. Rink wide for Evans. Evans back to Newpower. One-time bomb gets through, and Swayman gloves it down and holds for the face-off. Adam, you have seen a very different-looking UConn offense here in the second period, skating with more purpose and confidence here in the second period.
Well, you also need to consider that there's been 9.5 minutes in this period, and for 4.5 of those 9.5 minutes, UConn's had the man advantage. There have been 3 penalties.
That helps.
Yeah. It does help that for more than half of this period so far.
But considering Maine's dominance on the faceoffs, and they win another one, but the Huskies able to neutralize it, as Freeman and Howarth played along the boards, but right to Ryan Smith out between the circles, and he just rips it down the ice with a wrister.
You'd like to see UConn capitalizing 4 penalties for Maine in the first half of this game, first 30 minutes of action, 4 penalties, and they're 0 for 3 on
They've
the
had
power
some
play.
looks, though. Here's Evans at the right point, top of the slot to Newpower. Newpower to Evans, back in the right, top of the right circle, leaves it off for Izakov. Ruslan Izakov, one-timer. Newpower, that gets blocked out in front off a leg. That one off of Smith. And then spinning is Evans, plays it to the Zamboni boards where Freeman and Howarth get the loose puck. And right to Smith, though, of Maine. And he'll just flip it out to center ice. Giving chase for the Black Bears. A short-handed opportunity is knocked off. The puck is Shea. And out with its Newpower. Blue line to blue line. Down to Elmire. Elmire has it knocked off his stick out to center ice. And Wasaki plays it for the Huskies to Nyberg. 9:30 to go in the period. 2-1 UConn. 35 seconds to go in the man advantage. Wasaki crosses center. Left wing gets it off to Elmire. Skates in left circle. Centering pass. Loose puck. Kundalik took a bang at it, and Swayman goes post to post and makes a spectacular glove save for the hole. That time, Joachim Kundalik had a great look, but Jeremy Swayman came across the crease and just robbed him, stoned him with a nice glove save.
Just as far outstretched as Swayman could possibly go with the left leg as he kicks off from right to left and just blindly throws the glove out.
Terrific save. Face-off won by the Huskies. Here's Nyberg near side. Nyberg skates to the middle. Now back on the wing to Wasaki. Plays it past Payasov deep. Backhanded near side by Becker and then ripped down the ice by Pearson and goes into the UConn bench, though. So the face-off will come. Should be just outside the blue line. Nope, it'll be back in the main end.
Yeah, it should be in the. It's in the main end, and
yeah.
Now there's going to be a little bit of a discussion.
You mean a powwow?
A power play powwow. That's it.
And they're going to bring the face-off outside the zone. Maybe because it went off a UConn stick. That'd be my guess. Face-off right in front of the UConn bench. 14 seconds left of the man advantage. Pearson and Kundalik on the draw. They kind of neutralize each other out. It's like a rugby scrum. Out of the pack, though, comes Trailmax with speed, but he's knocked off the puck by Roman Canal. Now Pearson and Trailmax, along with Canal, battle for the loose puck. Penalty time is up as the Black Bears kill off another power play. UConn now 0 for 4. Kundalik out of the pack for UConn. Hits center, the blue line. Drop pass, one-timer, that gets blocked as Payasov's trailer was blocked up into the crowd and out of play. We'll step aside. 2-1 UConn, 8:44 to go in period 2 at the XL Center on the UConn IMG Sports Network.
This fall,
lots
Thursday
of action there, Adam.
has a new home, Fox 61. Expect more marquee matchups.
And I'm usually asleep by this time on a Friday night. This is good hockey, keeping me up.
Thursday, the 49ers host the Raiders. Pre-game at
How old are you
7:30.
again?
And not to worry, if
Old
you're looking
soul,
for your
Bob.
Fox 61
Old
news
soul.
at 10,
All
just
right.
tune to CW20 every Thursday at 10 throughout the NFL football season. For
I mean, I'm
Connecticut's
coughing as much as if
#1
I've got
primetime
pneumonia,
newscast.
so.
Power Station Events is the official production and
Brought to you by Big Y World Class Market. It's no big surprise. It's my Big Y.
With Adam Giardino and our producer Drew Casey, Bob Joyce at the XL Center. 2-1 here in the second with 8:44 to play. Adam Huska has been busy. Not as busy as the first. 15 of 16 saves. And meanwhile, Jeremy Swayman, who just made his best save of the night, has faced 15 shots and stopped 13. Maine won the face-off with the Huskies, pinning along the far side wall as Turnbull and Howarth are in there, along with Keeper and Binner for Maine. Puck still loose along the boards, and finally the Black Bears race it out the center ice with speed. Here is a centering pass for Binner. Gets by him. Karashek rode him off the puck, and Huska makes the save as he covers up. UConn Hockey brought to you by UConn Health, official healthcare partner of the UConn Huskies.
That was one of those instances where Huska really had to remain focused. If he took his attention away and thought that Maine was going to grab it and then fire a shot. That's one that could easily have trickled through him. Maine never really did get to it, so he handled it with relative ease.
Hey, do you have Snapchat? UConn's doing a lot of Snapchatting tonight.
I might be the youngest person in this arena that doesn't have Snapchat.
Well, I'm probably the oldest one who doesn't either, so. I just have Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, that's right where I am too.
No Instagram, none of that.
I would waste way too much time on the others. So.
Trail Max on the face-off from Maine against Kondalik. Face-off to the glove side, the left of Huska. Face-off one for the Black Bears to Michael, back to the point, up top to Fossier. There was a Husky penalty on that, and then it's Howarth that gets the penalty. So Maine back to the power play. First time in this period. Here's Michael up top. Leaves it for Pearson. Back. Oh, cross-side pass. One-timer. Sticked away as Svetstrip took the shot. Huska made the save. Now Svetstrip out in front. Tried to jam it in. Now top the slot to Michael. Michael back to Svetstrip. Back to Michael between the circles. One-timer the other way. That gets deflected wide. And Svetstrip up with it for Maine. Rink-wide pass. 7:45 to go in the period. As they cycle the puck, Michael up top. Gives it to Svetstrip on the left circle. Back up top to Michael. Michael fakes. His pass deflected by Kondalik. Michael gets it back up top. Now back to Svetstrip. One-timer that gets blocked in front. Coulter gets the block on that one as Maine possessing the puck well, working the umbrella. Now Trail Max up with it between the circles. Wrister, another block by the UConn defense. That one hurt. I think that went off of Kondalik's legs. You could hear it from up here. Now here's Kondalik off a feed from McGalley. 1-on-2. Gets ridden off the puck, but Kondalik will keep the forecheck as he gets a stick away on Michael and kept the puck loose. Good work by the Husky forecheckers, particularly Kondalik. Now here come the Black Bears back the other way. Pearson, his centering pass knocked off a stick, and here comes Coulter down the left side. Max rides it into the far corner, spins, works, drags time as Michael knocks him off the puck. Now Fossier, rink-wide pass, gets through everyone. So Karashik takes offensive liberties. Wrister deflected right on as Coulter got the deflection, and Swayman makes the save. Now here comes Maine back the other way. Shea ridden off the puck as UConn skating well with a nice back check. And the Huskies able to clear it out the center ice and down the ice. Fossier up with it with 15 seconds to go on the man advantage. Fossier off the right side, leaves it for Shea. New power back to get it for UConn, rings the board, slap clearing, and down the ice. And Freeman will give chase along with Brady Keeper. Keeper the first to get it. Covering, though, is Regali. Regali behind the main net. Leaves it for Freeman. Freeman on his backhand. Plays it along the wall. Penalty time is up. Now up with it for Maine is Binner. Huskies with a good forecheck. It's Freeman. Keeps the puck alive along the near side half wall. Freeman comes out of the pack. No, that's a Zakov. 34, not 24. It's stolen by Doherty. And he spins at his face-off circle on the far side. Rings it out to the point, and Maine finally able to clear it, but up with it is Regali, who spins right back in the Maine zone, but Doherty knocks him off the puck, and then Zakov gives it out to Juggernaut at center ice. New power finds it to Zakov. He'll hit the blue line, dump it deep. Huskies will change on the go. 5:40 to go in the second. 2-1 lead for the Huskies. Green back at his own blue line for UConn. Leaves it for Adam Karashek. His pass for Green gets by him, so Green will chase it along the far side. He'll spin at the far face-off circle for the Huskies in his own end, and rates out the center up the left side. Hits center ice, hits the blue line for Maine, taking offensive liberties, but he's ridden off the puck, and Maine able to get it out the center. Robbins with a long pass to Emil Westmoreland right in front of the UConn bench as the puck is loose, and Karashek, with the help of Johnny Evans, comes up with it. Evans gets knocked down at the blue line, plays it deep anyways, leaves it for Robbins. Zach Robbins back to the point. One-timer off the bench right on as Nyberg took a bang at it. Loose puck between the circles as bodies everywhere, nothing called. And Maine finally able to clear it out the center. Here's Canal. Canal, one-touch pass. Now it is Gatcombe down the left side. Puts on the brakes, spins, looks to get it back to the point, but wisely plays it deep to Evans. Evans spins. He's poke-checked off the puck by Keeper, and Maine up with it, but Howarth comes up with a big check. Loose puck between the circles, but it's cleared out the center as Robbins beat Canal to the puck. Now it's Turnbull for UConn. 4:33 to go in the second. Turnbull taking offensive liberties. Gets by two. Wrister. Glove down by Swayman to the far corner. Now back to the point. Canal couldn't keep it in as it bounced over his stick, and Smith put the pressure on, and now we get a penalty, or are we get an offside? It's going to be a hook. It's going to be against Maine. So the Huskies right back to the power play. Action fast and furious here, Mr. Adam. You're not getting a word in edgewise.
Yeah, and this is another power play opportunity, and I'm going to rescind what I had said earlier where maybe UConn looks great in the second period because they've been on the power play. Well, that was even strength for a good long while, and even though Ryan Smith is going into the penalty box for the Black Bears, UConn at 5-on-5 was doing a tremendous job of creating offensive opportunities.
So Smith gets the penalty. Huskies need to cash in on one of these, wouldn't you say?
4th penalty of the period for the Black Bears.
15:40 the time of the penalty. Face-off won by Maine. They play it back to center ice. Where retreating is Nyberg. He's being harassed by Fossier the whole time. Circles his zone net, brings it out the center. Here's Wasaki into the main zone. Leaves it off for Pyasov. Back up top, Nyberg. Wrister, glove save by Swayman. And he'll hold as he does the split at the top of the crease. I'll tell you what, Jeremy Swayman right now keeping his team in it the way the Huskies are moving the puck here in this second period.
Brett, I don't know if that shot specifically would have found its way on goal between the pipes, but it was an impressive flash of the glove to at least tie it up and prevent further damage, a possible rebound, because he's really been standing on his head here in the second period.
Connolly and Pearson on the draw. Linesman didn't drop the puck, so it's a do-over. Did you do overs when you were a kid?
Yeah, sure.
Of course you did.
Still do it on the golf course.
Shh. Not supposed to tell anybody that.
Oh, okay.
Face off to the right of Swayman. Finally, they drop the puck. Huskies finally win a face-off. Here's Nyberg at the left point. Wasaki with him. Gets it to Pyasov. He'll play it deep for Elmire. Elmire holds left circle. Back to the point to Nyberg. Right point to Wasaki. Works it down low to Kondolik. Kondolik outside the right circle. Skates in. Gets a goal line extended to Elmire. Went to his forehand, but he's knocked off the puck by Butala. And the Black Bears can't clear. No, we're going to get a penalty, it looks like. It's going to be a high stick. And it's going to be against, or the puck played with a high stick. So the face-off comes out outside the zone.
So no penalty, just a stoppage of the play.
Are you hungry?
I could be.
UConn Hockey brought to you by Moe's, official burrito of the UConn Huskies.
I am.
This burrito is delicious, but it is quite filling. Howard wins the faceoff for UConn, but the momentum of the faceoff goes all the way back down in their own end. Turnbull off the Huska ring around the boards, up the left side for the white-clad Huskies. Plays it deep to the Zamboni board entrance. Now Sam Becker, along with Freeman, battles for the puck. Turnbull plays it back to the point to Newpower. A little bunt play on the side of the boards. Kept in for the moment. Oh, poke check down by Turnbull to keep it alive, and Howarth will give chase. Now it's back to the point, and then it's wedged out right at the dasher board, and Newpower gets it. Rink wide pass to Zakov. Finds a streaking Freeman between the circles. Gives it off. Wrister! Save as Howarth gets stoned by Swayman. That time, Swayman just went over and bodied it and held for the draw as the Huskies with a quick rush up the ice. Freeman and Howarth off the Zakov feed.
Yeah, that's nothing that Freeman did wrong. It was just plain as day that he was going to make that great pass to Howarth, and that is what allowed Swayman to break an extra half second earlier and just make sure he got that clean.
Face-off won by the Huskies. Turnbull gets it back to the point. Wrister by Newpower. That gets blocked out in front. Bobbled it, and look out. Here comes Quinvillin. Down the right side, Newpower, that wedges him off the puck nicely and gets it out to center ice. Good job by Newpower not quitting on that. That could have been disastrous. Here's a Zakov with 2:39 to go in the period. Holds that stick like a magic wand, but he can't get it into the zone as he's broken up by Butala. Down the ice, look out, here comes Trail Max, little cutesy move, but Huska holds his ground, loose puck in the slot. Still loose, penalty coming up. As Huska covers it. Almost at the tying goal there as Trail Max came down the right side, went to his backhand and tried a little cutesy diddling with the puck, and he couldn't quite get it in.
And it's Chase Pearson going to the box for Maine, so there'll be 4 seconds of a 5-on-3 and then another minute.
Oh, yeah,
56.
Yes, you know why? Because he threw his right hand right into Turnbull. That's why.
Well, and actually, I think it was the last shove in the back of Howarth that Howarth ended up on the ice in the back of the net. And it could have been that last cross-check. We'll see what the penalty is. If it's the cross-check, it definitely was the last shove that put Howarth in the back of the net, but just another miscue for Maine.
I tell you what, Adam Huska had to make 2 good saves there. Now, there will only be 4 seconds of the 4-on-4, or the 5-on-3. As the penalty time is up now, it's 5-on-4. Here's Wasaki off the blue line of wrister. That gets stoned by Swayman, who's kept his team in it. Kondolik over the loose puck. Kondolik at the near circle. Centering pass gets through everyone, but Pyasov couldn't control it. And Maine plays it out to center ice. Streaking down the ice, it's Shea. He's knocked off the puck near corner. Shea gets it back. Connolly gets a stick on it. 3-on-1 battle right now, and Connolly comes out with it. Looks on the breakout. Rink wide for Evan Wasaki. Bunts it down deep. Giving chase is Turnbull. As Keith Muehlbauer plays it back. Now up with it. Connolly Grister. Shoulder saved by Swayman. Connolly gets it back. His secondary backhand just slipped by the near side post, just wide. And back out to center ice. New power for Wasaki. His pass deflected. And Elmire up with it for UConn. Here's Carl. Leaves for Connolly at the left point. Back to Elmire. Couldn't get a deflection, but Elmire plays it behind the net to his backhand. Now goes to his forehand. Now Elmire holds. Plays it for Connolly behind the main net. Connolly goal line extended. Waits. Holds. Skates back. Gives to Elmire. Elmire now cycles the puck at the face-off dot. Top the slot. One-timer. Wasaki just flat. Pius off the backhand. Rebound not there. Loose puck between the circles. Kept in by Nyberg. Minute to go in the period as Robbins tried to clear it out. Now rink-wide pass deflected and out to the neutral zone as Ryan Smith got a stick on the deflection. Huskies have been buzzing here in the second period, but as Adams mentioned, they've been on the power play a lot, and it's given them a lot of confidence. Now a turnover at the blue line, and here comes Westmoreland down the other way from Maine. Up with the puck is Fossier. Fossier gets ridden off the puck by Gendron. Miles battling for the loose puck. Now Michael, loose puck, slap shot. Michael, that goes wide, deflected up into the netting and out of play with 31 seconds to go in the period.
I want to talk about buzzing. Prior to that chance, it's a 15-4 unofficial advantage in shots this period, plus 11 for the Huskies.
So the ice is tilted, is what you're saying.
We'll have to bring out the level between periods and make sure that it's
well, Maine had
evened
13
out.
shots down here in the first, so, you know. Coulter on the faceoff, loses it, but the puck comes out to the neutral zone. Is giving chase is Brady Keeper. Keeper, just like the word keeper. Here's Tim Doherty. Doherty down the right side with 20 seconds. His centering pass, backhand centering pass goes through everyone. Plays out the center ice where Robbins overskates it. Main player goes down at center. Now up with it is Coulter. Coulter goes left to right, top of the right circle. Plays it back to the point, but it's broken up. Pearson gets a stick on it, but then it's knocked right back into the main zone by New Power. And that'll do it for period number 2 as Pearson crosses the line. His slap shot taken after the horn, but it goes well wide. And we have played 2 periods here at the XL Center. No scoring, but a lot of action in period 2 where Jeremy Swayman has kept his team in it. And we will be 5-aside when we start the third here at the XL Center. 2-1 UConn, the same score it was after 1. It's your score after 2. Adam and Drew with the intermission report. Coming up next on the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Big Y World Class Market is proud to be the broadcast booth sponsor of...
Hey, Drew.
Brought to you by Big Y World Class Market. It's no big surprise. It's my Big Y.
Don't forget, we've got football for you on the network tomorrow, 10:30. If you're listening to the flagship, 97.9 ESPN, we begin at 9. Kickoff at noon with Mike, Wayne, and Adam. Adam will be in a rain suit. And then Tuesday at 6, it's the Randy Edsel Football Coaches Show from the Burton Family Football Complex, featuring special guests each week, including a student athlete. Tuesday night at 6, right here on this UConn IMG Sports Network affiliate. And you can also check it out on the UConn football page via Facebook Live. 5 aside as we start the third. Huskies go from left to right, and somebody already had a broken stick right off the faceoff, being a Black Bear of Maine, as Miles Gendron gets hip checked nicely at the Maine blue line. That was a clean legal check by Jacob Schmidt-Svetstrup. Now the puck top of the slot in the Maine zone, finally raked out by Batalla. Simon Batalla plays it deep, knocked down by Huska, played off the boards by Gendron to Elmire. Kondelik now at the Maine blue line, crosses center, try to drop pass, gets it back with a wrister over the glove of Swayman. And the puck comes to the near side as Kondelik heads to the bench. And Maine finally on the breakout as Chase Pearson gives chase of the puck, but Roman Canal rides him off the puck. But nice support for Maine as Svetstrup back to play it. Now the Huskies regain control of the puck, plays it up along the wall and out to center ice, where Brady Keeper goes rink wide to Adam Daw, but it's broken up at the blue line by Nyberg, and back to the Maine end where Keeper up with it. Keeper in front of the bench board area, plays it off the boards, but Roman Canal there for UConn. Canal back skates, and now to Ruslan Izakov. Izakov with speed, gets by one at center, couldn't control the puck and lost it on a turnover. Here's Fossier down the left side, ridden off the puck by Canal. Centering pass with a backhand, loose puck between the circles. Huska makes the save as he goes from left to right to make the stop, and now Izakov in his own zone. Nice little poke check to get it to Nyberg. He'll play it up the boards on his backhand, near side, and with the help of Regali, gets it up the center ice. 90 seconds in, Maine with the best chance of the period thus far. Now it's Regali to Freeman. Freeman with room. Drop pass to Izakov. Izakov spin to the right circle. Top the slot, Karashek. Wrister through traffic. Easy stop by Swayman. As everybody skated through, and Swayman had a clean look at Adam Karashek's wrister from the top of the slot.
He ties it up about a minute and a half into this period, and Izakov elected to pump the brakes a little bit and allow a shot from the point instead of trying to really fire one in and force the issue on net. So instead, a clean look, but you never know. You get some traffic in front and pretty unthreatening, but Swayman made it feel especially unthreatening.
Well, for the most part, a puck on net is never a bad thing.
Yep.
Howarth on the face-off. Going up against Robbins. Maine wins another face-off, but Green the keeper and wrister through traffic. Right on. Stick save by Swayman. Puck comes to the near side wall. Now Turnbull gives chase, but the Black Bears can't clear. Kept in by Howarth. Rings it around near to far corner. Black Bears play at the point. Howarth keeps it in, but his momentum took him out of the zone. Here's Green. He'll just rip it right back in as the Huskies tag up. Up for it for Maine is Becker. Becker behind his own net. Gives it off to Keith Muehlbauer. It sounds Muehlbauer. And now gets by Green, and here comes Robbins from Maine. Gets around Green. Green's going to get called for a penalty as a wrist shot goes wide. Touched up by Becker as Maine puts on the pressure with the sixth attacker. Green with the forecheck. Spinning is Shea in the far corner. Shea goes goal line extended, poked away. Puck goes to the back boards, and Green up with it. And it will be Corson Green that will go to the box for UConn's fourth penalty. And for the fourth time tonight, the Black Bears to the power play 2.5 minutes into period number 3.
A little too handsy, just got behind a guy and started whacking him with the stick. So for Green, pretty cut and dry call. Maine, which really had the pendulum swinging in the other direction for the entire second period, now has a chance to snatch it back here early in the third.
Kondelik and Pearson on the face-off. Stick side of Huska, his right side face-off won by the Black Bears. Back to the point. Here's Fossier. Back up top to Michael. On the right circle to Fossier. Michael gets it back. Now works it on the left. One-touch pass to Michael. Now to Fossier. One-timer. That gets deflected. I'm not sure that ever got on net. Newpower takes a whack at it. Now Gendron in open ice comes up with it, and he'll skate it out to the blue line, bang it off the boards in front of the penalty box area and rip it down the ice. Well, Rob Michael will play it back for the Black Bears. Out of Orono, Maine are the Black Bears. Back passes it in his own zone. Poke checked away by Elmire. And Swayman plays it right back to Fossier. Mitchell Fossier leaves it for Svetstrup. He'll play it rink wide, and it's knocked right back in Adam Daw swings it around the boards near side. Up with it for Maine is Doherty. Doherty spins back to the point, kept in by Michael, takes a haphazard hack at it, and the Huskies clear as Karashek and Elmire rip it down the ice. One off Karashek, and Elmire took the second bang at it. 16:30 to go in the third. Huskies with a 2-1 lead. It's Carl Elmire's first period, late first period goal the difference right now. Here comes Maine. Binner goes right to left. Plays into the UConn end, ripped around the boards. Shea up with it for Maine. Back pass, centering pass deflected right on. As Doherty had an easy tip right in front. Huska bodies it down and covers for the faceoff. Timely save there by Adam Huska. Has the centering pass right on the stick of Doherty, and he just redirected it right in on Huska, who was able to body it down and hold for the faceoff. UConn, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just thinking that UConn unable to capitalize on all those opportunities in the second period. Now it feels like they're really skating on thin ice anytime Maine has a chance, because rather than a multi-goal lead, you're still, even though you feel like you played well, it's still only 2-1.
Face-off won by UConn. Newpower rips it around the ice, and now Elmire comes up with a loose puck off the puck. He scores! Well, how do you do there off the face-off? They won a face-off. Newpower able to get it around the boards. Took a funny hop, and suddenly Carl Elmire down the right side snapped it stick side low. Huskies' second shorthanded goal of the year. It's 3-1. That came out of nowhere.
Now you're not feeling like you're skating on thin ice anymore. There's that multi-goal lead the Huskies were searching for. They've got the cushion that they desperately wanted, and a multi-goal night for Elmire. And he skates in. That was really well done. Swayman had pretty good position, but the shot goes right under the right armpit, past the blocker, through the stick, and tucks itself inside the far side of the net as Elmire came up the right side.
Second shorty of the year for the Huskies. Carl Elmire with the goal. Third, make it fourth of the season. And for Carl, that is his fifth multi-point game of his career. 3-1 Huskies. That's a big one. As with 20 seconds to go in the man advantage, here comes Maine out of their own zone. Fossier gets it back to Pearson. Pearson goal line extended centering pass for Michael off the line. Missed it behind the net wide. Svet Strip at the left point. Leaves it for Michael, top of the slot. Now goal line extended Pearson. Back to Svet Strip at the left circle. He skates between the circles. Rister through traffic. Gets deflected wide. Karashek rips it down the ice. Turns and blasts it down the ice. You might be talking to Carl Elmire as Green comes out of the box. Leaves it for Gatcombe with speed down the right side. Ridden off the puck by Binner. Now it's Freeman with support. Far corner. Spins off a check. Now Binner and Gatcombe back with it. Binner plays it up the boards, and Maine able to clear it out of the zone as Michael with the back pass, but the Huskies glove it down at their own blue line, and Iberg able to play it to the Maine blue line. You're going to see a lot of Rob Michael here in the third period. 3-1 UConn. Here's Quinvillin. Crosses center, broken up. Here comes Zakov with speed. He's got Howard down the left side. Cuts to the right, and the play is offsides as Zakov was just messing around too much. Instead of going straight into the zone and then going laterally. Went laterally as he was crossing the line, and Howarth jumped the gun.
And for Zakov, if there's nobody flanking him, that's really well done by making all the moves he did at the blue line prior to the blue line. He really created a whole lot of room for himself. But when you're working as an offensive unit going into the zone, you can't expect your teammate to expect that kind of dipsy-do.
Call to the face-off win. Huskies play it deep. Rings around the board's far side wall. Maine able to play it out the center ice with speed. Here's Tim Doherty. Doherty plays it on his backhand to Robbins, who gets stapled by Roman Canal. Leaves the puck for Philip Nyberg, who's able to play it around the boards to Turnbull. Carter Turnbull lost control of it. Westmoreland now leaves it for Robbins. Centering pass right on the stick of Calder with the back check. Turns it over. Rister, score. Westmoreland took the Calder turnover. Snap wristed it, and Maine right back in it with 14:25 to go in the game. It's 3-2.
And for UConn, the problem defensively arose from the fact that Philip Nyberg wound up without a stick, and as Nyberg was caught between going to go get his stick and then go after Westmoreland, you can see the stick on the replay flying out of his hands. He goes for the stick, and then all of a sudden he's a step and a half behind, and that proves to be the difference in a clean look at a shot.
comes the 5:35 mark. That's unassisted. Westmoreland, his first of the season. And just his third game with the Black Bears this season. Westmoreland, the sophomore out of Sweden. And it's 3-2. Oh, kept it at the point. Rister deflected right on. As Daw with the deflection and Husker with the save. Telling you, Adam, this side of the ice is tilted. Every time we're down here at the right end of the XL Center is where all the offense is coming from. Or most of it anyways, but UConn has scored all 3 goals down the other end.
Get the contractor in before tomorrow's 3 o'clock tilt. Or rather, not tilt, right? The problem is
that's fine.
Well, the tilt is the problem. This whole thing's tilted to one end.
Oh, because of us, we're down the right end. Here's a Rister taking off the face-off win by Benner. Gets blocked.
Shouldn't have had that second cookie.
Here's keeper. Gets it out the center ice, and Elmire gives chase. Oh, you funny, funny man. Benner back in his own zone. Plays it to his backhand and leaves it for a Brady keeper. Rink-wide pass. Breaking in is Doherty. Looks to his backhand, and Nuhushka stops him. Now centering pass between the circles as Maine is suddenly buzzing after that goal. They're energized off that turnover. Here's Doherty, gets a stick on it. Connolly up with it. Now Elmire plays it out the center ice. Look for Pyusov in traffic. Missed him. Now Pyusov comes up with it. Behind the main net. Ridden off the puck by 2 Black Bears, but Connolly there to get a stick on it. And Zakov off the line, spinning off a check. Loose puck between the circles. Spinning, takes a shot, but never got the puck on net. Didn't even get much of a look at it. And now Benner for Maine off the check. Stops at his blue line. Turns it over as Freeman grabs it. Zakov gets a stick on it. Now the puck played back in the main end. With 13:15 to go in the third, Huskies with a 3-2 lead. Long stretch pass intended for Doherty, but Green and Karashek were there. Green wedged along the boards, and what do we got? An offsides? It must be. And then Doherty and Green get tangled up. Far blue line. Karashek comes in and says, no, none of that. You won't be doing that to my teammate. And we get a stoppage in play with 13:11 to go in the period. UConn Hockey brought to you by UConn Health, the official healthcare partner of the UConn Huskies. These two teams will play again tomorrow, 3:05 here at the XL Center. Tickets available at UConnHuskies.com, or just stop in and buy your tickets. It'll be a little drier and warmer tomorrow in here than it will be at the Rent tomorrow.
Hopefully, halftime right around 1:30 for the football game. UConn will be up 28-3 over UMass. Game will be out of reach. You come on over and catch a doubleheader.
Connolly got the face-off, wins it for Elmire. Back to the point. It's knocked out by Trailmax of Maine. Back to the UConn line. Roman Canal spins left to right, plays it off the boards, off the Pyusov, who deflects it deep. No icing. Swayman back to play. Leaves it for Batalla. Simon Batalla plays it up the boards. That gets ripped down the ice, and this one will be an icing against the Black Bears. Don't forget, UConn athletic events are the perfect opportunity to entertain groups, including employees, clients, youth leagues, birthday parties, or a group of your closest friends. Adam, take note. Visit UConnHuskies.com for more information about discounted group ticket pricing and benefits.
Don't think I got to make more friends.
So when you have your birthday party here, bring your friends and watch a hockey game.
Right.
Although you'll be working. Just don't bring them up here. Let them party down there, and then you can party afterwards. Face-off won by the Black Bears, but Johnny Evans goes in on the forecheck. Pearson up with it for the Black Bears as he leaves it for Svetstrip, and he'll flip it out the center. Now Svetstrip off the deflection, gets it back right at the blue line, plays it deep, as going after it's Adam Daw. Huskies play it to the near side wall. Robbins gets a stick on it. Now a turnover. Pearson walks in right side. Huska dives out, tries to cover loose puck, and they blow the whistle anyways because the net's off its mooring. Let's pay a bill, shall we? Well, at least tell people who the stations are that are listening to us. 10 seconds for station ID on the UConn IMG Sports Network. Oh, good catch, Adam. Or Drew.
I'll take any
once in a while. 3, 2, 1, go.
Fans here at the XL Center having fun with the video on the board, with the video board, and then they see, oh, I'm on the video board. Let's make myself look foolish. Face-off one. Newpower rips it in around the boards right to left. Now Gendron takes a rip shot, takes a wrister at it from the left point. That goes wide. Forecheck Howarth. He'll backhand it deep as the Huskies going in a forechecking mode now. Behind the net is Shea, working along with Becker of Maine. They played up the far side wall, played out the center ice. Robbins looking for it, but he overskated the long puck. It's offsides anyways. And up with it is Miles Gendron, the captain, his first game back from an injury. Gendron hits the main line, trying to go coast to coast. Gets deep behind the net. Plays to a backhand. Howarth overskates it. And up with it for the Black Bears is Keith Muehlbauer. He plays it rink wide out to center ice. Robbins wedges it to the UConn line. Corson Green up with it with 11.5 to go in the third. UConn a 3-2 lead. Now Regali has it knocked off the puck. Comes back to the UConn line. Green and Karashek will go blue line to blue line. Here comes Regali. In alone, walks into his backhand, and it's stopped by Swayman. As Regali left open, now he finds Freeman off the blue line. Wrister stick saved by Swayman. Kept in by Karashek at the right point. Rip behind the boards to Binner. Loose puck. Now centering pass. Here's a Wrister. Loose puck in front. Secondary chance misses. And the Black Bears able to skate it to the line, but not out. Huskies with a good keep-in. Izakov went the wrong way, got ridden off the puck, and here comes Maine the other way. It's Daw. Down the left side, plays it to himself off the boards. Now spins the Zamboni boards and leaves it for Fossier. Fossier throws it in the middle, and it's picked off by the Huskies. Here comes Izakov. Leaves for Canal. Canal bunts it deep. Izakov there for support, but the Black Bears able to ride it around the boards and try to clear it to the line and out. Gets by Payusov. Now Nyberg spinning. Puck hit a teammate. Nyberg fell. Izakov at center. Goes to the right side. Spins. Throws it to open ice. And the play, I guess, offsides. But Izakov very lucky the whistle blew because that errant pass was going to lead to an odd man rush the other way.
There's going to be not an offsides. It's a penalty. Maine's going into the box. Yeah. And I'm not sure if it was when Nyberg went down a little uncomfortably, almost as if there were knee-to-knee contact, but it looked more like a trip was what was whistled. But Nyberg gingerly made his way off. He seems to be fine. And, in fact, he's going out there for the power play. But we'll have to wait and see exactly what the call is.
9:38 the time of the penalty for Maine. That is their 7th penalty of the game. Kneeing the call. As the Black Bears cleared out, and Robbins taking offensive liberties, but he's written off the puck by Nyberg. And now the puck comes out to neutral ice for the Black Bears, and they ride it all the way down the ice. Gets behind Adam Huschka, behind the UConn net. Nyberg to play it. Outlets it for the Huskies. Here comes Wysocki. Wysocki goes deep, and what do we got here? We got another penalty coming up here, and it's going to be an interference penalty. And it's going to be against the Huskies as they get Payusov for interference at the main blue line. So that UConn power play, Adam, short-lived.
If we see that exact play tomorrow on the broadcast, it's offensive pass interference, basically just running a pick play across the middle, and Payusov tried to sell it, pretend that it was unintended, and back off a little bit, but damage done.
10:15 the time of the penalty, so we'll skate four-side for a minute and 23 seconds. Let's see who that favors. The Black Bears bring out Cannon Pieper and Tim Doherty up front. Gendron, Turnbull, Elmire on the face-off for the Huskies. Face-off to the right of Huschka. Face-off one to Michael. Michael spins off a check, right circle, steps in. His wrister goes wide off the edge of his stick, the toe of his stick, and the Huskies able to clear it out the center with Elmire doing the bulk of the work. So Payusov gets an interference penalty. Here's Pieper. Out of his own zone, little back pass. Gendron breaks it up. Here comes a rush up the ice. Here comes Turnbull. Split to the fence. Wrister, he scores! Carter Turnbull as Miles Gendron took a loose puck at center, found Turnbull streaking up the ice just inside the right circle, and he didn't miss with a wrister past Swayman. And the Huskies at the 10:40 mark pay their taxes. It's 4-2.
That was really well done by Turnbull, who a couple of times had fizzled out on offensive opportunities tonight. He already has one goal under his belt, so for the freshman to get another one, that's a really impressive rip from just outside the dot.
Well, Turnbull in his junior days racked up some points in junior hockey with Johnny Evans, so that's not a shock. 4-on-4 goal, 4-2 Huskies, 9 minutes to go.
153 points in 155 games with the Powell River Kings. Yeah, that's pretty
here
good.
Comes Robbins down the other end. His wrister knocked away by Huska. As the Black Bears taking offensive liberties. Now Karashek behind his own net. Goes to his backhand. Rides his man off the puck. Good job wedging him and Robbins off the puck. Here comes Karashek. Plays it deep. That's going to go in on Swayman. And he'll just leave it for his teammate with 8:35 to go. Coming out of his own end is Muehlbauer. Leaves it off for Westmoreland. Poke checked away by Coulter. And the Huskies with good work. Now here's Fossier down the right side. 1-on-3. Drops it back. Leaves it for Pearson. He lost control of the puck. Now up with it is Muletax, or actually Svetstrip. Svetstrip spins. He's with Daw. Back to the point to Michael. Rink wide feed to Dossier. Now up with it is Newpower, but he throws it right on the stick of Trail Max. Walks in, goal line extended, puts it in on net, loose puck in the slot. Michael up with it, and he plays it to the near side wall where Trail Max leaves it off for Daw. Daw, Trail Max, cross-side feed, wrister by Pearson, deflected. As the penalty time is up and the Huskies now back to 5 aside. Daw back behind the net, leaves it off to Trail Max, rink wide to Michael. Michael spins off the check of Coulter. Coulter gives battle for the loose puck, but it stays alive now. Newpower takes a rip at it to clear it. Can't now. Elmire with an extra chance. Works and outfights his man for the puck and clears it down the ice. And here's Payusov. Goes to his backhand. Spins, goal line extended off a leg. That almost went in. It went just wide short side. Now Kondelik from Payusov. Back to the point to Green. Takes a fire shot right on net. Pad save made by Swayman. Connolly gloves it down near side wall. Poke check by Evans at the blue line. Loose puck and up with it for Maine is Becker. Becker with 6:50 to go here in the third. Huskies 4, Black Bears 2. Here comes Smith rumbling down the left side in the UConn end. Picked off by Karashek. And now Canal plays it off the boards. It's gloved down with a high stick Doherty, but Kondelik was able to play it next and clear it out to center ice. As Smith puts it back into the zone for Maine, into the UConn end. Now it's a 4-player scrum along the boards as there's a lot of pitchforking for the loose puck as Regali goes down, and finally they blow the whistle dead, and that should stop play. And that should get us to a break too, wouldn't you say? As there's a little extracurricular activity.
Yeah, before we go to a break, Smith punched Regali behind the play about 30 seconds before, so we'll have to keep tabs on this the rest of the night.
4-2 Huskies, 6:27 to go in the third on the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Claire. They were like throwing punches at each other both ways. It was really
little love taps?
It was more than a love tap. Regali's helmet spun sideways.
Misplaced your debit card?
It was
Turn
really
it off
weird.
In the Wells Fargo app. When it turns up, turn it back on.
Well, they are Bears. They get a little feisty.
Every day. Lost or stolen
they're normally hibernating this time of year. They're cranky, tired.
A bear attacked the goat today somewhere out in the western half of the state today. The guy to come out with a shotgun and scare him off.
Whether you're moving across the country, across the world,
I like
or just
Miracle.
across the street,
Kurt Russell was
Lippincott
great.
Van
He did a
Lines
great
will
Herb
handle
Brooks
your
at
packing,
Miracle.
Moving and storage needs
What's
with
going
the
on
care
in
and
Dodger
quality
Land?
they
1-0
deserve.
Dodger,
If
end
the
of
Huskies
3.
football team
it's
can
over.
trust Lippincott to get their gear to the
4 in a
field
row.
on time, you can trust them to get your items where they need to be. Call Lippincott Van Lines today for a free estimate at 800-245.
Jock Peterson with a home run.
Play-by-play coverage of UConn hockey is brought to you by Big Y World Class Market. It's no big surprise. It's my Big Y.
Home of our Big Y broadcast location. Bob and Adam here at the XL Center. Jock Peterson with a home run in the third. And the 3, Dodgers 1, Sox nothing in Game 3 of the World Series. Adam already thinking the Dodgers will win 4 straight. Need little faith. Daw and Kondelik on the face-off to the left of Adam Huska, who has made 24 saves. Huskies with 31 shots tonight. Face-off one for the Black Bears. They've had the advantage all night. Wrister deflected on. Huska the save. Rebound tucked to the near side wall, and the Huskies able to clear it out the center ice with a fortuitous bounce past Brady Keeper. Now Kondelik loose puck, kicks it to his stick, but he's poke checked off the puck, and Westmoreland up with it for Maine. Now it's Keeper and Westmoreland. Plays it up the far side wall to Binner. Alexis Binner out the center ice. Here comes a streaking Robbins. Robbins working around Gendron, but Miles pokes, checks him off the puck as Robbins skates right into the post as the net comes off its mooring, but a terrific poke check there by Miles Gendron as Brendan Robbins was coming down the left side, attacking the net, and the UConn captain said, no, not tonight, not this time, not now.
That's not a play that everybody's going to make all the time, and it's not an impossible play, but it's got to be one that puts a smile on Coach Mike Cavanaugh's face, given that Gendron hadn't played a game yet this season, back from injury, and you've got your stalwart back there.
Huskies back at the XL tomorrow, then they're not back till the 13th of November for home weekday games against Brown and UMass Lowell. The 13th against Brown, 16th against UMass Lowell. Here at the XL. Face-off, it'll be Elmire against Pearson to the right of Huska. 5:58 to go in the third. Huskies up 2. Gendron off the face-off win by Elmire. Now Elmire in the near corner for the Huskies. Ragging time as he's battling Pearson for the puck. Pearson gets knocked down. Now a bang up the boards. Elmire finally out of that scrum. Skates behind the UConn goal as 2 Black Bears run into each other. And a penalty coming up here, I think, against Gendron. Although a Black Bear touched it, but it'll be a UConn penalty. It's going to be a trip. No, it is a Black Bear that gets called for the trip. That makes sense. They touch it, they get busted. Boy, the Black Bears have just racked up the penalties tonight. This is a team that averages 7.5 penalties per game. Now they have 8 on the night.
Yeah, that is a substantial number, and you fall behind against one of the best teams in the country, reigning national champs last weekend against Minnesota Duluth, and you certainly hope coming here on the road that you can right the ship if you're Maine, and you can't hope to do that when you're continually trying to fight off penalties.
The Black Bears, I believe, have called the timeout. It was Pearson that got the trip on Gendron. That comes at the 14:22 mark of period number 3. And Adam, here's the opportunity now. The Huskies have not scored on the power play tonight. They are 0 for 7. But if they make it 1 for 8, that all but puts the hammer down on this one. That puts the nail in the coffin,
and even by virtue of just getting through this power play, then if you're Maine, you're calling this timeout because you're trying to get a shorthanded opportunity here. You can't just work to kill this penalty off because then you're only left with 3.5 minutes to try and erase a 2-goal deficit. So it'll be interesting to see coming out of this timeout how aggressive Maine opts to be.
So who are you thinking for postgame there, young man?
Carl Elmire, right?
Yeah,
Gotta be.
Carl would be good.
All right, as long as it gets your stamp of approval.
It does.
All right.
It does indeed.
I'm going to hang out, see if they score the power play, then I'll Spider-Man my way down here from the catwalks. That would be worth the price of admission.
Yep, pretty much. Face off to the left of Swayman. Connolly and Robbins. Robbins wins it back to behind the net as it's played out to center ice. And Fossier off the skate of Gendron. Space knocks it down into the UConn, and spinning is Fossier, but up with it now is Carl Elmire looking for a hat trick if he scores again. Payusov off the feed, brings it around the boards, back to the point. Oh, Gendron, nice keeping backhander behind the net, open ice. Elmire spins to the far circle, back to the point to Nyberg, gives it to Gendron, gets past his stick, and then he slips and falls, and he goes right into the ice. Slow to get up, but he's okay, and here comes man the other way, Fossier, but the pass too far out in front of him, and Nyberg protects him deep, goes deep behind the net. Now spins and gets it off to Kondelik. Joachim Kondelik with 4:50 to go for Nyberg. And the Huskies are going to put fresh bodies on the ice. Their number 2 power play. Canal comes out as Zakov Freeman. Well, that's the number 1 power play. Well, 1 and 1A. How's that? They're both good. Here's a Zakov down the right side. Cross the center. He'll rip it around the boards in the dump and chase. Good forecheck by Regali. Puck comes loose back to the top of the slot. New power walks in. Center pass. They score. Oh, what a beautiful feed. Benjamin Freeman with the deflection. Swayman had no chance. And there's that power play goal. 4:28 to go. It's 5-2 UConn.
UConn had 3 options there. The straight shot by New Power. They had Freeman streaking across in front. And there was Isakov who was set up in front all the way anyway, And it's going to go to Freeman, so good set of eyes there, Bob. It just as well could have gone to Azakov, but that's going to just about, you don't want to say never with just over 4 minutes left, but 3-goal lead, 4 and change to go, and UConn feeling pretty good right now.
Comes at the 15 and a half minutes in, 5-2 Huskies. So Adam, you're free to go.
All right, see you in a bit.
All right. So Adam will go down and get our post-game interview. And with Carl Elmire, Sam Becker plays it off to Smith. Karashek gets it to the UConn line, and here come the Huskies back the other way. Rister in on net as it was Turnbull that took the wrist shot, got ridden off the puck, and here comes Mann the other way on a quick break up the ice. Here comes Daw down the right side. He's ridden off the puck by Karashek. Now Smith runs into Turnbull as the puck back to the point. Back to Muehlbauer. Now Rister through traffic, blocked in front by Turnbull. Karashek turns, plays it behind the UConn net, leaves it for Howarth with nice stick work. Gets it back to Karashek. Adam will play it out to center, and Turnbull will butt it off the boards gingerly and down the ice, so icing is not called with 3:30 to go. Here comes Edwards Trailmax out of his own zone. Comes down the left side, puts on the brakes, puts it deep behind the UConn goal to the near side wall. Giving chase is Jacob Svetstrip. Now out of the pack is Evans. Crosses center, dumps it deep as the Huskies, with a 3-goal lead with 3:10 to go, can take all the time in the world and rag it. Now a long stretch pass that was deflected. They wave off the icing, so Nyberg has to race to get back to get it. Turns it over, gives it to Svetstrip, who skates behind the UConn net for Maine. Plays it back to the point. Here's Binner. Binner throws it deep. It's deflected. Didn't get it on net. And the Huskies able to play it off the boards. High off the boards was Robbins to the Maine blue line. Smart play there by Zach Robbins. Now it's Brady Keeper out of his own zone. Rips it in the UConn line down the left side. Goes deep, spins at the Zamboni boards. Waits for someone to come off the line. He goes rink wide to Binner at the right point. Back off. Here's a one-timer headhunter drive. Taken by Keeper that goes high and wide. Rings the boards, and now Elmire with the steal. Elmire one-on-one looking for the hat trick. Goes to his backhand. Spins far side wall. Keeps possession. Rink wide to Pyasov. Gets deflected behind the net. Looking for Elmire, but this centering pass deflected. Now Kondolik bunts it to Pyasov with 2:10 to go. 4-player scrum, and Binner up with it for Maine behind his own net. Leaves it off for Pearson. Goes rink wide. Gets it off to Westmoreland. Westmoreland to Robbins. And the puck gets tied up in the skates of the linesman, so the Huskies able to clear it out to center ice with under 2 minutes to go here in the third. Michael plays it off a skate, and then Maine ices the puck with 1:48 to go. You're not going to hear me for a minute because I have to send our intrepid sports information director, that's UConn's intrepid SID, who we want for the post-game show, and it will be Carl Elmire. Carl with 2 goals tonight, but the Huskies another solid effort tonight as they will get their 3rd win of the season. And Carl Elmire with 2 goals. Newpower got 1 of the assists, maybe the only assist. Yep. Freeman's 2nd goal of the year, Newpower's 4th assist. Freeman back to the blue line off the face-off win. Izakov turns, Rister. That gets blocked out in front. And Smith plays it off the far boards, the half wall, and gets it up the ice. Gets it off to Muehlbauer with 1:25 to go, and the puck played back out the center, and Rob Michael back to get it for Maine. Plays it to open ice, backhanded off the boards. Here comes Shea for Maine. Plays it in the middle for Robbins, deflected right in on net, top of the crease. And Adam Hushka will make the save. So UConn led 2-1 after 1. They were outshot 13-7. But right now the Huskies with 34 shots to 26 for Maine, so they've been much better. And they had that slew of power plays in the second period, and they really took off after that. Energy the whole bit. And they have led by 4-2 and now 5. They led 3-1, 4-2, and now 5-2. And that power play goal put the nail in the coffin. Coulter neutralizes the faceoff. Canal plays it off the glass and out to center ice. As Sam Becker back to get it for the Black Bears. Leaves it for his teammate Muehlbauer. Now Becker gets it back. And with 1 minute to go here in the third, and the Huskies will go to 3-2 on the season. As the puck off sides is Canal mixing it up with one of the Black Bears. That would be Fossier. So a good rock-solid effort by the Huskies. Good to have Miles Gendron back in the lineup. He with some nice contributions tonight. He also had an assist in the victory. Face off at center. It'll be Johnny Evans that will take the draw with Pearson. Face off one for Nyberg as Evans wins the face off. Rink wide to Canal near circle. Back in the UConn end, goes diagonal and gets it out to Gatcombe, who crosses the blue line, gives to Evans. Evans fans on his wrister. And the Black Bears able to play it out to center ice. Here's a little floating pass. Gets it off the Svetstrip down the left-hand side, but ridden off the puck by Canal with a poke check. Now Svetstrip and Canal battle it right in front of the Zamboni entrance. Back to the point. Here's Binner. Fakes, works in left side, and the save by Huska. Puck's along the outside of the net on the stick side of Huska. So that will result in a whistle and a face-off with 24 seconds to go to the right of Adam Huska. Don't forget UConn men's soccer, if you're hearing this for the first time, if you're planning on going tomorrow night, Sunday at noon now with the impending weather at Maroney Stadium. If the Huskies win that game, I believe they win the American Conference. So good luck to Ray Reed's Huskies in the final regular season game ever at Maroney Stadium. Howarth will take the face-off for the Huskies against Doherty. Doherty wins the face-off. It's one, but the shot is blocked by UConn as the Black Bears won the face-off. Now Muehlbauer dumps it into the UConn end with 15 seconds to go. Leaves for Karashek. Karashek plays it deep. Back to get it for Maine is Sam Becker. Huskies with the forecheck. It's Howarth with 5 seconds to go. Puck played out, dumped down the ice, and that'll do it. Horn sounds, bring out the Zamboni. This one belongs to the Huskies. Final score tonight here at the XL Center, the UConn Huskies 5, the Maine Black Bears 2. We'll come back with post-game from the XL Center after this timeout. You're listening to the UConn IMG Sports Network.
Big Y World Class Market is proud to be the broadcast booth sponsor of UConn men's hockey. Whether it's a meal for two